Guten Morgen. Hope everyone's doing well today. It's also not morning unless you're in New Zealand, I think. Japan too, probably. There you go, Vicky. Morning for you. Welcome in, Sapling. Arlinja, congrats on being the first to arrive. Casey, thank you so much for the resubscription. Hello indeed. Welcome back to the stack for the third month. Crazy. Enjoy your sub badge, your emotes, and your ad-free viewing. Thank you so much, Casey. Hope you're doing good today. Hey, Autumn and Courtney, welcome in. Mermaids, good to see you. Vicky, Cat, Onion, awesome to see all of you. Karani, welcome in. Whew, I had a long day, everyone. I'm a little bit tired, but I like playing Stardew after a long day, so we're gonna power through and have some fun. I'm doing good, Casey. Just a bit tired is all. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I just had trouble falling asleep. I think I'm a little bit nervous about my job currently. It's because it's starting up again, just like some pre-stuff nerves, but my brain doesn't think so. It's like my subconscious knows that I should be. It's like one of those things. Because I don't feel nervous. But I think I'm just really good at suppressing it. But my subconscious doesn't know that. Oops, this is falling over. Sorry if you hear random noises right now. Sorry, I have to read something really quickly. Okay, we're good. So, I hope everyone's doing good today. We are going to go back to Stardew. This one? That's the button. As a factorial. I think the exclamation mark's supposed to go after the number, right? Yeah, that number is imperceptible. It's a very, very, very large number. I think it starts breaking calculators after like 26 factorial, so you're going well beyond that. That might be a little bit of a misnomer there. I think it's a little less than that. What did Pam do, Onion? Everyone wants to come in here and be so aggressive toward random villagers. They're just trying to live their lives, okay? Let them be. Or maybe that's a term of endearment. I actually don't know what you mean by that, Onion. Hello? Yeah. Why do I feel like I'm moving so slow? Oh, now it works. Now when I'm not trying to. Why wouldn't we be aggressive to random villagers? You know what, Mermaid? You're making a pretty good point here. I guess I shouldn't. I shouldn't be so hasty to dismiss your thoughts and feelings on the matter. The NPCs matter less. It's unfortunate, but true. Gathering up the statues of endless fortune. Forever and ever and ever. Move, doggy. Onion, you still have not explained what you meant by this. What does FIUUUUM stand for? I've been thinking about the fish a lot, randomly. Flum? Flum? I don't know what that sound is, Onion. Is that like a Spanish way of writing it? Hey, Smanch, welcome in. Feedum? Fium? I might just be dumb. Feel free to explain it to me like I'm a toddler, if you could. You see 8 going to waste. Did I miss some? Oh, you're talking about the 8 million I have. Yeah, I should probably fix that. That's a good point, actually. I'm gonna fix that right now. Oh, like vroom? In English we say vroom. Like when a car goes by you? Ah, okay. We spell it with a V-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-M in English usually. It's not 9 a.m. Well, I guess we're not getting those today. Also, I totally forgot we have another Skull Cavern invasion to do. I also didn't drop these off. Can you tell I'm not, like, good at this game the first time I start playing after a little bit? It's only been 2 days. Alright, let's go get the rest of our statues. We can buy the Statues of Endless Fortune later. That's not how you walk. Pam Slay? May Nay. I'm glad we're all Pam stands in the chat here. And by all of us, I mean democratically speaking. It might be mermaid, but I don't like leaving some of them collected and not all of them. That's a little bit stupid, I know, but I'd rather just go. I mean, you make a pretty good point, but Onion, why you always got to abuse the announcements? I kid. I love meows. How many times am I gonna get clipped saying meow, by the way? I feel like that's happened quite often already. I feel like half my clips are me meowing. But would you look at that? Omnis always win. We don't have a Gamba. Like clockwork. Oh, I did need to buy these. Oh well. Sapling, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. I didn't realize. Oh, you said Sap earlier. That's right. Never mind. You've been here. Careful, you wake up my cat. Sorry. Oh yes, I forgot that was your follower alert, Onion. To be honest, I followed you while I was, like, moving, so on my phone, I barely heard it. I realized what it was, like, afterwards, but I was not listening at the time. So I apologize for that. Onion streams as of, like, last night, I think? Yeah, go check out Onion. Onion, you can shout yourself out if you want to. I don't know if there's, like, legal reasons that you shouldn't be able to, but it should work. Or is that too weird? What are we working on today? We've got a Skull Cavern invasion quest, Courtney, so we're mostly going to be jumping down to the Skull Caverns, grabbing slime and bat wings. It was Tuesday. Okay, it was Tuesday. So the days have been blending a little bit for me. It actually worked. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that before. Not saying that it should be done or anything, but that's very funny to me for some reason. Yep, call Kevin invasion. Incoming. I don't need this. Onion streamed Stardew Valley, but has only done one stream so far, so who knows? Maybe she'll branch out. Alright, where are we going? I kind of want to buy those statues of Endless Fortune. I might do that, like, on the way into Skull Caverns here. I also just noticed my explosive ammo is horrendously low, and I don't think I have any. Oh, I do. Okay, we're good. Streaming art? Onion, that I'll never catch on. That'd actually be really cool to see. Of course, I can't promise I can catch your streams if they're going to be that late. I'm basically in bed by 9 o'clock, sort of, friend right now. Courtney, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome back to the stack. Enjoy your emotes, your sub badges, and your ad-free viewing. Thank you so much, Courtney, for your subscription with Prime. Oh no, time zones. I know, right? Time zones are the curse of this world. How dangerous is it to go into Skull Caverns with these? Doesn't seem like a very good idea, does it? I did not get a chance to read it, Karani. I saw it, for sure. Like, I saw that it existed, but I did not read it. I'm sorry. I should, and I probably will. I cannot express, like, how little time I've spent doing things I've wanted to in the last 3 days. It's been a lot of sleeping and a lot of working, unfortunately. You could put them in a chest, maybe. Yeah, that was the plan. I also forgot Monster Musks, so... yeah, that's kind of why I'm here. I'll put them in here for now. I'm totally going to forget they're there, so chat, this is on you. If I ask what happened to my statues of Endless Fortune, you tell me where they are, okay? On you. There we go. 9 p.m. algo time. Wait. I thought we were in a different time zone. Now I'm confused, Onion. I feel like you flip-flopped on this. Oh no, it's not a problem, Karani. It was completely expected. Like, this is what the beginning of a school year is like for a teacher. This is totally expected. Once I get in the groove of things, it'll be fine. I just have to, you know, get all set up and everything. Hey look, it's my best friend. Happy Gallic Soul over rock-covered mountaintops and waterfalls of serpents. Prancing slimes in the middle sing a song of satisfaction to the world. Can't wait to stress over college applications. I get to stress over college applications for the rest of my life because I'm going to have to write letters of recommendation. I'm an important person to write letters of rec, so I have to learn how to do that because I'm an AP physics teacher. So those letters look usually pretty good. So students usually want me to do it. Unless my number one pick just lets me in, I don't have to worry about it at all. Is that common? Because I feel like, at least in the US, that is not very common for colleges to just let you in, unless they're a community college. And even then, they want your high school transcripts, usually. I don't think they've ever denied anyone, but they still want them. Like, you have to apply. Peyton, welcome in. Glad to catch stream. I've been enjoying the VODs, but I lose track and dates, so I don't... Whoops. Sorry. Oh, I thought it was onion seeds. I was about to laugh. Sorry, Peyton, what was that? Glad to catch a stream. I've been enjoying the VODs, but lose track of time and date, so I missed the stream. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I'm glad you made it. That's awesome that you're here. Sorry, you caught me on a pretty tired day, but I want to stream, so I'm going to stream. I thought about it, not streaming, but I can't stop myself. Can you? Okay, thank you. Hey, Smarts, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Will you write my letter of rec? I think you should get one from your own teachers. Like, I could, but I don't think that would probably come across very well. Oh, if they accept you immediately instead of, like, defer you. You still need a letter of recommendation before, like, you get accepted at all, right? At least that's how colleges in the US usually work. Like, they want 3 letters of rec. I doubt anyone even reads them at this point. It's very annoying that they still make you do them. Like, who's reading these letters? I bet literally no one is looking at these letters. They just make sure you have one from a real person. And no one's willing to call their bluff. Yeah, most college apps, at least when I was applying, which admittedly was quite a few years ago now, Galaxy Soul asked for like 2 to 3 letters of recommendation. So I got like a few from my neighbor. I got 1 from my neighbor, 2 from teachers, I think, and then another one from like a coach. And then depending on the application, I use like one or the other. Yeah, if you are looking for letters of rec, ask more than the number of people that you need. I know that sounds painful, but no offense to adults, but we're really bad at getting stuff done. And so someone is going to let you down. Even if you trust everyone in that group, it's very likely someone is not going to get you that letter. So always ask for more than you need. No, Zave, I'm not going to write anyone's letter of rec on stream. I feel like that's... Oh, you just want to be included. Sorry, I should finish your sentence before I assumed you were joking, but... Oh no. I gotta be careful. Being tired makes me really sloppy. What Pokemon would Penny have? Stunfisk? I don't understand the pun, Onion. Penny would have all of the Pokemon. I assume the rest of the Pokemon are above the pole. Penny strikes me as someone who would catch them all. Eevee? That's actually kind of a fun question. I like that one. I feel like you could come up with some pretty good answers for most of the Stardew villagers. Stunfisk is a Pokemon? My Pokemon knowledge gets a little fuzzy after Generation 3. I know some of them, but not most of them. Usually I know the ones that are good competitively. I don't know why, just like... those are the ones I remember. I've never actually played Pokemon competitively either. I just remember those for some reason. A Flatfish. Oh, I think that was before Gen 3. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about now. I thought it was spelled differently than that. Well, you know me and spelling. We've never really seen eye to eye. The Sandfish? That's not in Stardew, is it? It's called the Sandfish in Stardew, not a Stunfish. Or did you just spell it wrong? Ooh, I want that. Nice. Gems, gems. I got 3 out of that one. Good boy. Or amorphous blob, rather. Yeah, Casey, I'm confused too. I don't necessarily trust my Pokemon knowledge. I feel like I've never heard of that one before. What do you have for levels 5 and 10 for combat? Let's see, combat, I have Scout, which I've only taken to get Acrobat. The extra HP comes almost entirely from there's an item you can get from getting to level 100 of Skull Caverns for the first time that gives you more health. I think that's the only item that increased my health. Who needs college anyways? It depends what you're trying to do, Karani. I would say that college is kind of needed in the US at least, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of jobs that shouldn't need it but require it anyways. Like, most people won't even look at your application unless you've got a bachelor's in something. That does give extra HP, yeah. I knew it gave extra HP, I just wasn't sure if that's why my health was higher than normal. I definitely don't have anything that boosts my HP in terms of, like, skills. I think just having higher combat gives you higher HP, though. Yay, we got a Prizzy! I thought I already drank this. Like, again. Oh. I have that too, but you have way more HP than me. What's your combat level? Jake, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Dude, what? Speaking of having high health, might have saved me there. Level 10 and everything. That's strange. You don't have 220 health? My UI scaling might be higher than yours, so it might look like there's more. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I'm not entirely sure. No death, cringe. It's so cringe, Algo. You just don't die sometimes. Let's... No, not that one. Dang it. What a waste of ladders. Come on, give me a good floor for once. I say with like 50 radioactive ore on me. Level 10, you have plus 40 HP from levels. Oh, whoops. Didn't see it until it was too late. Come on. So why is my health that high then? Why do I have 220? I have some theories, but everything I can think of, it would be ridiculous that it would not have been found out already. I don't think it was changed. What would it have been instead? Because according to that math, it would have had to be 100 at least. No, it had to have been like 80, which I don't think it was ever 80. That doesn't seem right at all. Algo, are you a nerd? Yeah, I'm definitely a nerd. I spend most of my time playing video games while people watch. Got the 165? Okay, well, that's weird. Apparently I'm hacking. So my theories are thus. Theory number 1, if you take the other profession and then switch back, it never lowers your health. This seems unlikely to me, because I feel like that would have been discovered by now. Like, someone would have noticed that. Theory number 2, it had to do with updating the game. Maybe somehow I got the snake milk twice, but that also doesn't math out correctly. Due to some, like, weird update of some kind. You've tested that one? Okay, so it's not that, then. It probably has something to do with how the game updated, then. Maybe if I took it on a previous patch, and then since this file updated later on, it got confused. 40 would be incorrect still. That would, still not give me enough health. I have more than that? We're missing something vital here. Does no one else have 220 health? Also, how has no one noticed this before? There's no food that gives max HP. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Is there some other cutscene that gives max HP that I can't think of? Is there something on the island, maybe? I feel like I would know that. Well, notoriously, the wiki tends to miss things occasionally. I'm literally so confused. I have no idea. Whoops. Yeah, I figured as much, Mermaid. I was just letting people in the back know. Blade's busy at the moment. No, is Blade here actually? No, I don't think that works then. Yeah, I wouldn't know what caused it. It must be update related. That's my only thought. There are very few people who have updated a file from 1.0 till now. So there must be some weird bug with that, unless we're missing something important. Oh, hello, hole. Yeah, no idea. I will have to get to the bottom of that, but I'm not going to do that this second. 55. Why is it such a strange number extra? Like, based on... So this is higher than you could get, like, ever in the game then, right? According to what the wiki says. There should be no possible way to have this much max HP. I feel like I've had this much HP as long as I can remember. I remember specifically thinking about like 220 before, like, because I hover over the bar sometimes. I don't remember a time when it wasn't. But I have been playing a long time. We can probably get a little bit more radioactive ore if we're lucky here. Oh, hello. You're my new best friend. Yeah, this, I'm confused. Hey, Brittany, welcome in. Welcome to my confusion. Hope you're doing well today, Brittany. Can we get a shout-out, Onion, for Brittany Hitch, who is a wonderful Stardew Valley streamer? I almost got 100 radioactive ore today. That is an insane amount. Welcome in, Brittany. Sorry if I sound a little off. I'm very tired. Today might be a slightly shorter stream, but probably not. I tend to just keep going even when I shouldn't. Oops, you go in there. Pass out. Hey, Annabeth, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. How is work going? It's got me a bit tired, Brittany, but that's pretty normal for the start of a school year. I'm mostly just kind of trying to get into the groove of things, although class doesn't officially start until tomorrow. We've had PDs and orientation, and I think the thing that's really hurting me is just I'm not used to the schedule, because all summer I've just been like doing minimal work, not like been getting up and moving around or anything. I've been on my computer a lot, so just like walking around and kind of sort of teaching is just very tiring at the moment, but I'll get used to it. This is pretty typical for the start of a year. Yeah. Okay, that's still less than me, though. Sorry, people that are coming in now. Apparently, I have an amount of health that should be impossible by what the game defines, and we're trying to figure out why that is. I have 220 health, and according to the wiki, that should not be possible. According to the wiki, obviously, isn't the best statement to make here, but we're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm assuming it's related to an update in the game, because I've had this file since 1.1 of the game, no, like 1.0 of the game. That's my assumption, at least. But I don't have any confirmation on this at all. Yeah, I have illegal health. Samantha, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Yes, I also don't have fighter, but that's fine. Onion's just quoting the Reddit post. Just something that's causing this to be happening. I'm almost excited about this because I might have found something pretty interesting. Oh, we went over? Oh, I did bad math. We went over by 39. Oh, and you need to go in. I just haven't made a spot for you yet. Look at how pretty these colors are. It's going to be even more pretty when it's all done. These aren't bad health. How good's the lava eel? Oh, they're all the same. I thought for sure it would be... Okay, they're pretty bad health. Thought for sure it would be different. Luca, welcome in. Just showed up and you've already done something illegal, Alco. Yeah, sorry, Luca. Apparently, my game is glitched in some way. And I've never noticed. No one ever has pointed out my health before. Don't just assume I know more than you about this game. I know a lot, but... Wait, what? Darth? Interesting. I like it. Thank you for checking. Okay, this is something that somehow no one's ever noticed before. Apparently you can get even more. This is definitely... Yeah, mine's a legacy save. I see you're asking Darth. You had 210? Okay, if this is like an actual thing in the game, I cannot believe that no one's noticed this before. Someone must have, right? Okay, we'll try and collect some testimonies here, and maybe we'll post some stuff on the Do Crew later and see if we can't figure out what's going on. I have 205. I think 205 might be possible. No, it's not. According to the wiki, the highest possible is 165, right, Merman? There's something we're missing. Is it related to boots at all? No, that shouldn't matter. That only provides DR. Peyton, 205 is normal? Is it normal? Didn't Mermaid just say the most you should have is 165? What rings do I have? Oh, do these increase health? No, they shouldn't. I don't think there's any ring that increases health. I figured there wouldn't be because it would be really weird to code. Because if you take it on and off, like your total health will change and probably go up and down. Check some old files. 165 plus the fighter buff. Oh, I should probably like grab these while I'm walking by. The fact that they're this varied is very interesting as well. It seems to be a very odd glitch if it causes this much variation. Yeah, Iridium Band increases damage. Yeah, I imagine Concerned Ape wouldn't want to change, like, health values. Keep grabbing these on accident. Just because if health values changed regularly, like taking on and off a ring, it would, like, leave a gap on your health bar or something, or it would let you heal illegally. Be a very funny way to heal, taking on and off a ring, though. Anything over 205 is abnormal. Where's that health coming from? So 205 is, possible, then. You can actually get that in-game. 205 with professions, yeah. The thing is, I have 220 and I don't have the profession. What's going on? Thank you, Onion, for the poignant, pull. That's a fun alliteration. Poignant pull. Inadvertent exploit, it definitely is. Peanut, anything that gives you more health is definitely an exploit, but yeah, I did not intend for that to be the case. I have not gone out of my way at all to alter my health. I was thinking that, Annabeth, but someone claimed they'd tried that before. Like, they had attempted to take on and off the profession to see if it left the health, and it didn't. So you can get to 260? What are you basing that on? Invalid run reset. No, I don't think this matters that much. Actually, though, like, it's not intentional, and it might have saved my life a few times, but I probably would have also just ate more food 90% of the time. So I don't think... It deserves a spot in the FAQ if we can figure out what's going on with it, though. Definitely deserves a... I just slept and my health is back to 165? Does eating food increase your max HP? It shouldn't. Maybe... Does luck increase your max HP? Oh, I see what you're saying, Smanch. That makes more sense. Alright, that makes plenty of sense. I wonder if I took the profession, if it would actually just, like, reset it back to normal. Because if it's, like, overflow, it might fix itself. Actually, I should keep these just in case. Not luck? Yeah. That does seem weird that it would... Yeah, it's probably not luck. In some games, luck affects all skills, so luck would raise your HP as well. Could be a ring or gear. I mean, I was thinking about that. Hold on, let's take a little bit of damage real quick. Where can I take damage? Well, I have to go to the island anyways, so let's just go to the island. Wait, don't test what? Okay. So we have 200. If I take off my luck ring, still 220. If I take off my boots, still 220. I mean, that would have been known. Like, there's no shot someone would not have noticed that, like, boots or something increases your health. I don't intend to, like, change my file. We're just trying to get to the bottom of why it happened. Oh, don't test switching profession. I see. I mean, I might at some point. I kind of want to figure out why this is happening. I don't care that much about the extra health. I care more about, like, I might have found a very interesting exploit in the game that somehow has been overlooked for a long time. I don't think it would be super useful, but it'd be kind of cool to know about. Like, this much more health doesn't matter in most cases. My save from before the last update is 205. Yeah, that's a normal amount right there. Yeah, that was my thought, Mermaid as well. I can just eat more food. I'm just more curious about, like, why it's happening. Well, this has been an exciting stream so far, despite how tired I've been. That seems low, Sam. Oh, do you not have the milk? You might not have the milk. That would make more sense. Yeah, yeah, so you don't have the milk from floor 100, right? Of Skull Cavern. That would be the total with that. You have the milk. I think 205 should be the total with the milk. Oh no. Okay, something very weird's going on with health calculations. You technically don't need the milk for perfection, I think. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think you do. Yeah, 25 is given by the milk. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are you sure you went to floor 100? Actually, you could check. Can't you? Oh, can you not check this? Is it not in your wallet or anything? Hey, TJ. Welcome in. We are discovering that this game is broken in more ways than we thought. Happy Thursday to you as well. Hope you're doing well. Boy, I just caught a good whiff of lavender. I've got my diffuser going on back there. You do have the milk. Okay. Something weird is happening with health, TJ. We're all posting what our health is in our files, and we're all getting like some weird different answers. So this started because someone asked, why do I have 220 health? And I was like, isn't that normal? Because I thought it was. But it seems like everyone's got a different answer. It seems like you should have 205 based on how the math works out. But someone said they had 260, someone had 230. Samantha, despite having the milk and the profession, should have 205, but instead has 180. So we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. I assume it's some sort of glitch of some description, but it seems like there's some incorrect calculations going on with HP. You do, Fallberry. I'm talking about when you have 10 combat. Oh, Samantha, you might not have 10 combat either. Double check that as well. But, oh, you got perfection. No, you just said you had perfection. Sorry. Oh, doesn't have defender. Okay, Onion, that makes sense. Thank you. Alright, Onion figured out Samantha's issue. We figured it out. I don't know the professions outside the ones I have. I just assume Brute was the one that increased your health. I'm a genius? Well... Oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely. Alright. Don't you well me? I'm doing it on purpose for the comedy. I'm milking that... milking those laughs. Yeah, I have no idea why this is happening, but I'm excited to find out. It's always fun to find out something new about this game. Oh, whoops, I forgot to drink the Monster Musk. I guess you don't drink the Monster Musk, huh? I will slow cook your... You know what? Bone marrow batter is pretty good. I imagine the one I had was not cannibalized, but you get some, you lose some. Oh my gosh, this floor. That one. Gotta get that galaxy soul. Bad. Okay. Dang it. There's our bat floor. That was really the only nice thing I didn't get yesterday. Yesterday was a really good Skull Caverns day. The 100 radioactive ore is really nice. But I didn't get that many bat wings. So I was hoping for a lot today. Especially since it seems like my daily luck is not maxed. Chunky, you're here. Welcome in. Have you considered arriving on time for once? Just kidding. You're on time most of the time. Yeah, I'm cheating. Hey, Chunky, check what your health is on your file. I'll let everyone else fill you in because I'm lazy. Alright, quick story. It turns out I have 220 total health on this file, Chunky. And it turns out no one else has that much health. Some people have more, but that's also wrong. So we have no idea why this is the case at the moment. I imagine the game is either doing some weird rounding, which seems incorrect from the totals, or the math in the code is incorrect somehow. Yes, anything over 205 seems like it should not be possible, based on what's known about the game. Having said that, at least 3 or 4 people have already checked their files and have more than that, myself included. I'm taking them at their word, but I assume they wouldn't just randomly lie about that. This is why I die more than you. You know what? That's a legitimate excuse. I can't even be mad about that. And, oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. Because of my professions, I don't have any health for my professions. So 205 should be the max if I had the professions, but I don't even have those. My max should be, what is it, 165, Mermaid? Yeah, sorry, I'm not forcing anyone to check theirs if they don't want to, but I am, like, ultra curious now what's going on. Because obviously something's wrong here. So I should have 165 health, but I have 220. So there's like a 55 discrepancy. Yeah, 55 point discrepancy going on here. I was wondering why your bar was so much longer. Well, you know, Chunky, you just gotta get good at this game, and one day your bar will grow. Okay. So yours are normal. Are those you said those are legacy files too, right, Samantha? So you said you just opened one from 1.2. So it can't be the update unless there's like something maybe related to the update and the profession. So like if you had the profession when you updated, but then got rid of it after. But the numbers don't match. Like I should have like 60 more health, right? If that was the case. I'm not 60 more, but I wouldn't have 220. I would only have 205 if that were the case. Someone also said they had a new 1.5 file with it. Okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense. What's going on? And I said, hey, yay, 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 yay. Hey, yay, yay. Hey, Frazzle. What's going on? Oh! Sorry. Welcome in, Frazzle. Hope I didn't just scare you away. But you're well within your rights to leave now. We found out I'm cheating, Frazzle. I was the villain the whole time and I didn't even know it. So 180 is normal if you have one profession but not the other. All I'm really getting from this is more people need to take Acrobat. Do you not realize how strong it is? My health is too high. I have a health that should not be feasible in the game. My maximum health is 220, and the most that should be possible is 205. And that's only if you have the relevant professions. I don't have the relevant professions, so my health should be 165, and it's 220 instead. Even the modded files are fine. It's got to be update related. The only thing that makes sense, because someone would have noticed if it was... But you said there's someone who has the discrepancy with a 1.5 file. What could be causing it? Yeah, I know, Mermaid. I was joking about that. I wasn't being serious. Just take Acrobat, everyone. Do yourselves a favor. Grab a hammer and slam. Yeah, that's true. I know there is a trade-off. Apparently not for me, though. Apparently I got to skip that trade-off. I got to skip trade-off day. I got my cake and I got to eat it, too. In this case, quite literally as well. Therefore, invalid run. Not like I would have ever died, even with the less health. I'm so good at this game that I just don't die, so... Did that sound convincing? I wasn't convinced. Go away. No one wants you here, serpents. Yeah, Fallbear, we were thinking that, but someone claimed to have a fresh 1.5 file and also have extra health. So a few people have come in and said that they have extra health as well by checking their file. So obviously that's only one person's claim, so they might have like misread it or misunderstood where their file was from. But my best guess is that would be the case, Fall. That's usually what causes weird glitches in this game, is updates, and really any game. It disappeared after sleeping, but mine didn't. Maybe I'll check in the morning before I eat. Like before I do anything else. So, someone remind me, that was a bat floor thing. Someone remind me when I'm about to fall asleep. It's like when I'm about to pass out or go to bed or whatever. Like, not to do anything until I check my health in the morning. Which is a little hard to do in the morning, so... And then we'll do our normal actions one by one and see if it changes. Hedgehog, welcome in! Yes, you did. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, that was my idea, Mermaid. I'm just gonna leave my house and then quickly hit myself. I guess I could just bomb myself and then reset the day as well. Resetting the day takes no time if it's like right at the beginning of the day. Yes, I put rubies on the hammer. Hammer is really only improved by damage. The other stuff is not really good for hammers. Hello? Ooh, Hedgehog, where have you been? Hope you had a good time. And that's not. I wish I was on vacation. Literally just now starting the school year. Okay, it's time to go on vacation, I think. Biking and backpacking. Oh, that sounds so nice. If you don't mind me asking, where at? No, you definitely do not have to answer it if you're not comfortable. Ooh, Northern Vermont. I've actually been to Northern Vermont. I was in Montreal visiting family. And we went down to Northern Vermont for dinner, actually. We just crossed the border to go eat in one of the towns up there. Very far north Vermont, so. And that was something you could do before COVID. I don't think they would probably allow that now. it sets the max HP to 75. Well, that is interesting, but obviously not what's going on here. Certainly weird, though. It doesn't do anything but set your max HP to 75? Look at that. Dude, we've been crushing it on the Q gems this year. Probably because we've had 3 Call Kevins, but like actually crushing it. Huh. If I had less health, that would have killed me. We can't get distracted. It's tough, mermaid, but you can't stray from the path in the forest of all knowledge. You'll never find your way out. Why would it set... Like, why wouldn't... It sounds to me like it's supposed to be a debug command to, you know, like, make things easier. To, like, go through the mines or something like that. Why would it not set your HP higher? Maybe it's just a test going through the mines in general to see how tough it is. So it's not like cheating. It's like actually just doing a normal amount. See, we're getting distracted from what we were talking about. But that's my guess. Is it possible that I did it without realizing it? But the math doesn't work out, though, Samantha. Even if I did it twice... Okay, it's 55. The profession gives you... I'm down 55 HP. Oh. So if I did the 20 twice, and then the 15 once... With that... Is the 20 the one at level 5? Feels like the 20 should be the one later on, right? Start with Brute, change to Defender, and then change away from both. When was that glitch? Do you remember? Or did it say, Samantha? Is that like in 1.4? Because I definitely changed to Acrobat in like 1.4 and not before that. I was... I did not know the power of Acrobat until 1.4 at least. 4 years ago. That's 1.4, I think. As crazy as that sounds. Is it raining, Chunky? I have a feeling you mean you're like drenched in sweat, but I find it funnier if it was just like raining and you're somehow surprised you got wet. Yeah, Fraz was on my mind wave there. Brainwave shared. Is Elena here? Whoa, 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 whoa! What am I doing? Just about left the game. That would have been slightly funny. Oh, sprinklers, even funnier. Walking in the rain is fun? Yeah, I'd say so. Depends a little bit, though. Oh. Screenshot in Discord of what you get given. Are you referring to the skull gear thing? There we go. Yeah. So that probably, my guess, Mermaid, is that's a debug command for Concerned Ape to test like the mines, like how tough they are with fairly middle of the road gear. So like an average player going through the mines would probably have something similar to that. That's my guess. Seems like I'm probably right. Hey Dusk, welcome in. I got so confused by what that was. Like, why did someone shout me out? I'm like, oh, it's Dusk. That makes more sense. Hope you're doing well today, Dusk. And I hope you're excited for Sunday. That nothing that we're doing on Sunday, that'll probably be really fun. You have a headache? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Whoops, I passed out. Hey, Valiant Son. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yes, someone got it in my head today, so I had to use it. All right. Hello? Can you not take damage in your own house? That seems silly to me. Where'd that come from? There we go. 220. I didn't do anything. I didn't do nothing. Still 220. You took Advil. Hopefully the Advil will kick in soon then. Your AC is too high. Yep, you're right, Valiant Son. I should have taken off my shield and armor. That would have made it easier. Yeah, I was kind of leaning toward that before Samantha even dug up that Reddit post. Like, that just seems like it makes too much sense, right? That's the only reason why this wouldn't have been discovered before. So I think the solution is pretty clear. I have to just change my profession back and forth again, and it should fix it. I think. Makes sense to me, right? Like, when was 1.4? I think 4 years ago is about right? I could not tell you the date off the top of my head, but I bet the wiki has the answer, and it's likely right. Whoops. Or we get even more HP. I would have to downgrade, which would destroy all of my 1.5 items, which frankly seems like a bad idea. Either it'll fix it or give you more health. I like your enthusiasm, Frazzle. I imagine it would like fix it. Also, I imagine if I took it off again, it would. There are really two outcomes here. Either it realizes like, hey, your HP's too high, or you're right, Frazzle, and it fixes it. But as soon as I take off the profession, it goes back. The truth is, I'm not going to change it until after this quest is over, because I need my hammer. I'm not about to change off Acrobat right now. Nothing happening at all would be interesting. I think definitely something would happen. We should have a poll when I fix it, what my HP is going to be. I can think of like 4 options that reasonably make sense. Oh, that's true, Mermaid. I didn't even think about that. I think I have to turn on the other one, though. I don't think it's going to refresh if I leave this profession the same. I could be wrong. I could try that first. I kind of like my extra health, though. But, yeah, that's an unintended exploit, which I guess I probably should not be reusing for the run. Yeah, we should have a poll for what it's gonna do. Or like a gamba. I have my guess, but I'm curious what everyone else is gonna think. I think there's like 4 numbers that make possible sense. One is my HP stays the same. Like nothing changes at all. This is if I take the 2 professions that increase my health. 2 is that my health stays at 220, but it adds on the extra benefits from those professions. 3 is my health drops to 205, but only to 205. And I actually don't know if a 4th one would be. I heard Gamba. It's gonna be a minute before we can do the Gamba, because I want to wait till the end of this week. Whoops, I went too far. This is what happens when I'm reading Mermaid's messages. Osblade when the method... I assume this is the method that fixed the glitch, Mermaid? Or are you guessing that this is the method that fixed the glitch? Okay. I assume the second one sounded more right to me. Alchemisty? Thank you so much for the follow. I apologize for my butchering of your name. I hope you're doing well today. That's not supposed to happen. Why did I do that? Go back where you belong, squid. Alright, let's actually try this. Alchemisty? That sounds kind of right. Hello, I don't speak English. Oh, well, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I apologize for me not being able to pronounce your name correctly, if you understand what I'm saying. And I hope you're having a great day so far. I keep going too far. Alright. I think the solution Samantha found, or rather not solution, the answer Samantha found is going to be our best guess as to what happened. So I did not notice this. Alchemist? I went right back to the same pond I just finished with. So that definitely seems like it's the case. Kirsten, welcome in. I hope you enjoyed your lurk. Welcome back to the land of the unlurking. Chatting? It's good to see you, Kirsten. I hope you're doing well. Oh, and now you're going back to the lurk. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for the lurk, Kirsten. I hope you're doing well today. Shh, don't give it away. Don't give it away, mermaid. We're gonna have a gamba. Wait, no, it won't work. Oh, now you've really given it away. Rob, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I am fishing the completely normal way, and not at all the utterly insane way. It's good to see you, though, Rob. I hope you're doing well. I think you're stuck with it. Interesting. We're gonna test it regardless, but my guess is you know your way around the code, so I don't doubt that you're correct. Here's the question, mermaid. if I take the HP boost, will it add to my current HP? Or will it just not do anything? Chunky just wants to win that Gamba. Then that HP. So my maximum HP has just changed permanently. I mean, I have other things in the game that are legacy, so I guess this is just my legacy HP. Yeah. Well, Frazzle, Mermaid is looking at the code right now. And I assume, like, going through the action of, like, what would happen if you added the profession and then took it off. Spawned Iridium snake milk and drank it. My health was the same at 165. Interesting. I thought drinking more milk increased your health more. Is that not the case? I thought I tested that in a in Smappy. It disqualifies the speed run, I think, but this is also not a speed run, so I'll find some mod to pay under the table to count it. You're all bribable. Definitely a speedrun. I invalidated it. I've used the chair trick at least twice. It didn't really get me an advantage, but I used it. So sequence break, even though I've unlocked all the areas. I definitely, like, used the chair trick to get over to the quarry mine before, because I was too lazy to take the cart over and walk. I think it was technically slower, but it made me feel better. Yeah. I know, Samantha. I don't actually think this invalidates anything. This is just part of the game. It just so happens. If I, like, went out of my way to abuse it, that would be something else. But this just happened in the game naturally. I did not know about the exploit. It just happened. So we're gonna roll with it. So many fishies. So few barrels. See if I can find a save from 1.4 and we can start from there again. Interesting, Mermaid. I didn't know that. How many fish ponds is there total? I think it's 72 or 73. It's been a while since I counted last. I think it says it on my spreadsheet somewhere. In the filth list, I think it's called. It might say on there how many total I have. Hey, you're not supposed to do that. Thank you, Onion. Boo! Boo this person. I'm gonna report you for being a spammer. I don't think it'll do much, but... Probably not terrorism, huh? Spam! 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 Block. Blink! Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I want to be famous. Blink, you're already famous. Welcome in, Blink. Onion, can we get a shout out for the lovely Blinksy, who is a wonderful Stardew Valley streamer that you should all go check out right now. Right now. Just leave my channel. Leave my useless channel behind. Go give Blink a follow and just go watch her VODs instead. Oh, you already did, Onion. I just ignored Onion, like, so badly. Again. I don't stream. You just streamed, like, 2 days ago, didn't you? I couldn't watch it because it was, like, at 11 and I was asleep, but... I already shouted her out. Yes, Onion, I realize that now. No problem, Onion. I'll take care of the next spammer who comes in here. No. I hope you're doing well today, Blink. Welcome in. I gotta go, but I'm gonna make fun of you again by shouting Blink out again. You just had some pizza? Oh, pizza sounds delicious. I actually don't know what I'm eating tonight, like at all. I assume it'll be leftovers, but I have not yet found out what it's gonna be. What kind of pizza, Blink? What kind of pizza do you like? In fact, everyone, shout out your pizza loves in chat. Myself, I'm a pepperoni guy. Like, I'm so happy with just regular pepperoni pizza. I do like other toppings occasionally, but I think pepperoni's just still my favorite. Everything else is just extra. Supreme. I'm not a huge fan of a few of the things on Supreme, but I've had Supreme before and I still liked it. It's kind of like becoming better than the sum of its parts sort of thing. Korean food for the first time yesterday. I've had Korean barbecue before and it was really good, but I don't know if that's Korean food or if that's like American conception of Korean food. Cheese tonight, but we usually do pepperoni with cheese and extra sauce. Extra sauce is interesting. I've definitely had that before. Okay, I worked at Little Caesars for 5 years, so I've tried so many different combinations of pizza stuff. But yeah, it definitely gives it a really different texture when it's really saucy like that. Classic cheese is S tier. Fair enough. It's like surprising how different cheese pizza tastes compared to pepperoni pizza. Like I think they're both good, but they're both good for like very different reasons. Like I feel like the pepperoni flavor really hides the cheese flavor a lot. And so when you get rid of the pepperoni, the cheese flavor is like super pronounced. I like pepperoni. It's my go-to other than cheese. I had pepperoni pizza for dinner last night. Well, there you go, Cat. Cheese person, Peyton. Fair enough, fair enough. Mushrooms and bacon, I swear. Rabbits, you're probably right. I just really do not like mushrooms. And I also don't really like the bacon that a lot of pizza places put on their pizzas. It's like bacon bits. It has like such a weird flavor to me. Like when I get a pizza, I want a pizza with like strips of bacon on it, if I'm being honest. I don't know if anyone does that, but I also just, it's like not even the taste of mushrooms, it's the texture. Like they're always so slimy to me. Even like fresh mushrooms, they just feel slimy. I hate bacon more than anything for breakfast. Well, you don't have to have it for breakfast, Blinksy. I usually have it whenever I want. When you load the game from the menu, it should run a check to see that your health is correct. Oh, it just deals with not being at full health. Okay, okay. The Stardew code is, it's a lot, it seems like. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, other pizzas I have. I like margarita quite a bit. It's a very simple pizza, so that's probably why. Barbecue chicken is incredible, but I think I'm gonna die after every time I have it. It's just so much. There's like so much richness to it. Veggie pizza greater than everything. I'm sorry, Mermaid. I'm sure it's delicious for you. I can't do vegetables. Like every single vegetable in existence. Except for like, does lettuce even count as a vegetable? I can do lettuce because it's flavorless. But like every vegetable that has a flavor just tastes awful to me. Except for like green beans and peppers. There's a few other exceptions, but those are the two big ones. Got a nosebleed. I got in my bed. Oh no! Chunky, are you trying to have an alibi for the murder you just committed? Because it's not working. I see right through you. Sorry about your sheets, Chunky. That actually really sucks. Chicken bacon ranch is like beyond unacceptable for my stomach. It sounds really good on paper. I have had buffalo chicken pizza before, and that's really good too. Usually they do like a little too much buffalo sauce. Like I feel like buffalo sauce has to be super light when you do it with that. or mixed with something else to not be like pure buffalo sauce. My partner can't do tomato sauce, so we always do barbecue or white sauce. Okay, yeah. That's a good solution. Alfredo pizza sounds really good. I think that's a thing, right? I guess that's just putting cheese on top of cheese, but it's never failed me before. Like, I put as many different kinds of cheese as I can when I make nachos or something. Meat lovers. It brings me back to my thing about bacon. I also really don't like the sausage that a lot of pizza places use. They all get it from, like, the same place, like Cisco, and it always tastes the same to me. And it's, like, just kind of okay. I'll eat meat lovers, don't get me wrong. It's tasty, but, like, usually I prefer it from, like, pizza places that, like, make their own ingredients. So if I'm getting something from, like, Hungry Howie's or Domino's Little Caesars, I don't really like the sausage, and I don't really like the bacon. A big white pizza fan? I don't know if I've ever had it before. It just, like, struck my mind that Alfredo on pizza sounds like it'd be really good. This is making me so hungry. Yeah, you ain't kidding. That's on me, admittedly, but it's also affecting me as well. What, Lewis? I only see a statue. Oh, is that Autumn? Yeah, that was someone else's idea. I'm trying to remember who that was. I think it was maybe Glowbean? Possibly Glowbean. Suggested that. Oh, I can actually check. I have the power. If I can find the right tab. Oh, it's the one that has this on it.
Numino-ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
Okay. That's why I couldn't find it. That was the thing sticking out there. Let's see. Decorate the farm. Oh, Block IO. It was Block IO. I think I just inadvertently shared my addiction I have with keeping tabs open for no reason. Currently high and without snacks. I'm so sorry, Casey. Let's talk about something else. Does anyone have any good snacks lately? I might have to cook the spicy barbecue. Oh, that sounds really good, Samantha. You should. Y'all gonna make me order a pizza today. Alright, hold on. I gotta respond to this text real quick. Sour cream and bacon chips. I don't know if I want bacon on my potato chips. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't had good potato chips before. But I've had like a bacon flavored potato chip before and it did not taste like bacon. It tasted like someone took the barbecue one and just kind of dulled it a bit. In fact, I'm pretty convinced like 90% of chip flavors are just like them mixing existing flavors together and calling it something that it's not. Spag, welcome in. Sorry about my chip rant. I hope you're doing well today. Sour cream is a very good flavor though. I love the chip talk. Oh. Oh, I passed out. I didn't even notice.
Oh, it's a person. Winter
sets and... Is it... Seimunji? I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. I'm probably not. How about just Say? Winter set and Say, thank you so much for the follows, both of you. I'm sorry, Say. I missed it somehow earlier on. My brain just locks out information occasionally. Permanently stuck with it? Well, I'm not going to bother changing my profession then. I might add it to the FAQ. Maybe I will just test it once later on. All dressed ruffles. I like ruffles. I've had them quite a few times. What is all dressed? Did they just pour everything on it? If so, they should call them kitchen sink ruffles. I guess those wouldn't sell as well, would they? Eating chips right now. Chips sounds really good. I prefer Cheez-Its to chips personally, but I also really love chips. Don't tell new people. We're not going to do a Gamba if Mermaid figured it out. Sorry. We're going to do an Omni Gamba today, though. Anyone want to do an Omni Gamba? How many Omnis do you think we're going to get? It's supposed to be a barbecue vinegar ketchup mix. You do realize that, like, ketchup is... You mean barbecue sauce is just like ketchup with some flavoring in it, right? No, that's not true. I'm thinking of steak sauce. Wait, is that true? I think barbecue sauces are tomato-based, right? Let's see. So the 999 challenge winter set is I'm attempting to collect 999 of every stackable item in the game. So everything that stacks together, I'm going to get a whole stack of it. So I've done quite a lot of it already. Yeah, I don't know what crack they put into Cheez-Its, but they should, like, sell that by itself. That might be true with meatloaf topping. I'm pretty sure most of my meatloaf toppings are literally just tomato soup. Blinksy. At least that's what my mom's recipe uses, and that's some really good meatloaf. Which I guess tomato soup is just like ketchup without the sugar. Yeah, Spag, I don't know what it is about Cheez-Its. They're just so tasty. Like, I don't even get other snack foods anymore because I feel like I'd just rather have Cheez-Its. They've also got some really good flavors. Like the slightly burnt ones. I don't know if they're called like crispy or something like that, or well done. Those are really good. Despite like the only change being is they're slightly well done. Like they leave them in the oven for another minute or something. The hot and spicy ones are really good. The white cheddar ones are really good. Like, they got that stuff down. And still, like, the original are still, like, the best. But the other ones give, like, a different... I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning way too much into the Cheez-Its here. The slightly burnt ones. What do you call them? Toasted. Toasted! I remember the name now. Thank you, Samantha. I didn't cheat off Samantha. I remembered it on my own. You like the big ones? I haven't been a big fan of the big ones. I feel like they're just not convenient enough to stuff 20 in my mouth at the same time. Which is, of course, how I consume my Cheez-Its. Yeah, the white cheddar are, like, super good. And if you ever get, like, the duos, like the mixed ones, and they've got both in the same box, those are good, too! I don't know how they do it. It's like everything they come up with is gold. Yeah, 4 cheese I've had before, and it's also really good. Yeah, I consume many things 20 at a time. Oh, I see. You're trying to be coy. Onion's back! Onion, what is a food that you consume 20 at a time? Don't reach at. I shouldn't have bothered to grab those. That wasn't worth it. What? Green peas. Ooh. Wait, what's torture? Oh, food. I'm sorry. I have an answer. Oh, did you go test it, Mermaid? I'm super curious. Just tell me, Mermaid. Don't think you want it. I'm super curious. Just tell me. I don't have the patience to figure it out on my own. Answer to the food question. Oh, I thought you were talking about the I thought you went and tested the HP thing. Peanuts? I could fit 20 peanuts in my mouth. I mean, maybe. There are smaller nuts, right? Sunflower seeds would definitely be a good answer there. I could definitely eat 20 sunflower seeds at the same time. Popcorn. That's a lot of popcorn. Not with that attitude. Fair enough. M&Ms. That might be a good answer. I feel like M&Ms would be a good fit. They fit together really nicely. I feel like popcorn, you'd have to like really squish to get 20. This is a weird question. Yeah, rice would be acceptable answer as well, mermaid. Oh, peanuts in halves would definitely work. I think some peanuts are bigger than other peanuts too. Ants? I think there are some people who eat ants, so yeah, I guess you're right. Like, I can't imagine you wouldn't be able to. Spiders is, that's a lot to process there, Chunky. I refuse to pronounce foods that I don't know the name of anymore. So sorry about that, winter set, but if anyone would like to pronounce it for me. Quinoa? How? I assume it's from a different language. Hey, Mind, welcome in. The general idea of the challenge is we're attempting to get 999 of every stackable item in the game. So everything that stacks together, we are putting it in a stack. So everything from rainbow shells, to coral, to... Nope, this one. Super cucumbers. Anything I can get a stack of, I'm going to put in a stack. Chunky, you added to your L quality. Oh, I know, Frazzle. Lentils. What did I say last time? Is that incorrect again? Quinoa. Is that still not right? Okay, I'm just gonna flat out refuse to say foods anymore. I feel like I'm making more people angry than I'm making happy. Wow, that was interesting by my horse there. Pringles! You're saying it correctly, thank you, Courtney. How many Pringles do you think you can eat at once? Like 20? They do fit together nicely. What did I do to get stuck here? Okay. I feel like I could bite into 20 Pringles at the same time. I don't know if I could eat all 20 in like one bite. That's a lot of Pringles. Like, I could bite into 20. If I crumbled them all into dust and like mixed them with water, I could probably do it. Which is probably not what you want to do with Pringles, but it might actually enhance the flavor given it's Pringles. I'd be impressed. 5 Pringles? I don't know if I could even fit like more than one at a time. You should just like stack them together, but like I'd have to crush it on the way in. My mouth doesn't feel like it's that big. It's been a long time since I've eaten Pringles, though. Which is telling me to run ads. No. No ads. I think I just ran an ad, actually. But the people who got the ad can't hear me say that, so take that. They'd inevitably break and get all over your desk. I mean, yeah, that's chips. Pringles are especially fragile, it feels like. They like shatter like you just bit into glass or something. At least with like a Lay's chip, it like breaks off but like stays together. Shh, Samantha. Shh. Oh, nothing, Winterset. Twitch just sent me a notification like, hey, do you want to make money? Run ads. And you know what? Fair, but no, I don't run extra ads. At least not at this moment in history. Buy stuff from Honda. Are you advertising, Samantha? Pringles are potato powder made into chip, that's why. Aren't most chips like that? Oh no, I guess not. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. We're gonna take this and go call Kevin. I'm imparting the knowledge I learned. The Twitch has spoken. It has told me to buy car. Never mind that. I'm not 16 and I cannot purchase car. Twitch has told me to purchase car. Can you buy a car if you're younger than 16? If you're like saying it's a gift for someone? Oh no, not Raid Shadow Legends. Don't get me in trouble with my main sponsor, Chunky. I'm actually very upset they haven't reached out to me yet. Come on, am I not good enough? What's one of the biggest hurdles to the challenge? If you are new, I do have an FAQ mind. I don't mind answering questions in chat, but like you'd be able to read it a lot faster than I'd be able to answer. But the biggest hurdle is something called the T-set, which most people don't know exists. But it stacks. It exists, it stacks, and it sucks. I have a question about how a teenager got this money. Okay. I actually know the answer to my own question. Because a student today, in class, said they bought a car. Anyways. They were 16 though, I think. It was like a broken down car and they were going to repair it, which is really cool, but... Oh man, I don't want to cook on stream. I feel like that would be embarrassing for a lot of reasons. I feel bad for the food. Oh, the Void Pendant? I think the T-set's still worse than the Void Pendant. At least I have some reasonable amount of control over the Void Pendant. Like, I can just kill more monsters. The T-set, I literally just have to sleep. A lot. Yes, Hedgehog. I mean, anyone at that age that has that kind of money is probably getting some sort of large allowance from their parents. But not always. Some people can get some pretty lucrative jobs when they're younger and just, like, be very careful with their money. I know people that have bought cars by, like, 18 because they were mowing lawns since they were, like, 12. Or even by 16, excuse me. They don't ask for your license? They might if you look really young. This is my thought. It also probably varies. Like, even between states, I'd imagine it might vary. T-set doesn't make me divorce Leah. That is correct. Although, technically, I have a better chance of getting the T-set if I divorce Leah. Because if I'm married to Leah, Leah doesn't move. She stays in exactly the same place for the entire duration of the festival. But if I am not married to Leah, I assume she walks somewhere. So technically speaking, to efficiently get T-sets, I should divorce Leah. Also, I don't think she can be... Can your spouse gift you on the Feast of the Winter Star? I've never seen it happen before, but I've never seen anything say it can't happen. You can get your spouse? Okay. Oh, you can't get your spouse. I like how you wrote something and I read the exact opposite from it. But yes, getting Leah would increase my odds of a T-set though, because it would lower the fraction, I would raise the fraction of the percent of people, the fraction of the percent. It would increase the percent of number of people that could give me T-sets, basically. Just mad that you can't gift Lewis's shorts. Wait, why can't you? If you do it, it should complete the quest. So... that's how you complete the quest, actually. I guess after you've completed the quest, you can't gift him shorts. Wait, what's going on, Onion? Enjoy your lurk, Autumn. How many people? 121 lurkers already. Y'all like lurking. We've had that command for a while, actually. Emily seems like a bird person. Emily seems like a rock person. Is there like a crystal Pokemon? There definitely is, isn't there? I kind of like Natu, though. Yeah, that actually seems right to me. Like, psychic, rock type. Is there a psychic rock type? Nosepass? I don't think Nosepass is psychic. Is choices a word? Yes, but it's not spelled like that. It's spelled with a C instead of an S. I won't tell you which one. Oh, Chunky helped you. Dang it, Chunky. To parrot what other people said, Emily has a parrot. Doesn't have a current animal. Is a rock psychic, not a psychic rock? Is that different? I always assumed if there was two types, they were equal amounts, same type. What is that name? Do I have to actually say that? Thank you so much for the follow. Emily M. Clint? Tier? Oh my gosh. Emily McIntyre. I thought it was an Emily and Clint joke. No, that is a real name. I'm so sorry, Emily. Thank you so much for the follow. The word Clint's in it. Thank you so much for the follow, Emily. I hope you're doing well today. I apologize. I thought your name was a Clint joke. Like, because Emily and Clint in this game are characters that have a, let's say, strenuous relationship. Rocks for sure. Yeah, I think Emily would be a rock type. I think she's more interested in crystals than she is in, like, birds. Is there a rock psychic, though, on you said? I feel like that would be a good fit. Oh, there's no L. Mermaid, you know I can't read. You've been here how long? I'm a science teacher. It's like we were talking about Emily, so I thought someone was just like, oh, I've got this nice reference name. I mean, usually you have more than one Pokemon, so you could have Psychic and Rock-type Pokemon. Is there not, like, a Crystal Pokemon? Like, that's Rock-type, but it's, like, made out of diamonds or something? Or, like, any other crystal? Pre-K teacher? That's awesome. I feel for you. I can't deal with small children. Not on that scale. I like it when there's one of them. Because then they're very cute. Your health makes me sad. Seems like it's here to stay, Chunky. Don't think there's any way around it. It's a part of life now. Psychic. Psychic. That's how I remember how to spell it, by the way. Psychic. I don't want to fight the children. I want to learn them. We don't fight children. Oh, I believe it, Courtney. There must be, like, I don't know, it strikes me as like there'd be significant developmental differences between children of that age. I don't know how true that is, but it just like feels that way to me. Like there'd be kids that are a lot more ahead or behind. I'm glad you like it, Mind. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that over a long period of time. It's definitely not done. Can I really not get past this? It's just rude. Screw it. It's one radioactive node. Yeah, I haven't quite finished the FAQ. I'd say it's about 80% done, but I have to add more questions every so often as well. Alex should have the trash Pokemon because he stands next to the trash can all the time. I would give Alex... Alex strikes me as having like an Arcanine. I don't know why. He strikes me as like a fire type trainer. Like Arcanine Rapidash. Oh, Rapidash even rhymes with trash. It's perfect. What year is it now? We are on year 28 currently, which is a lot of years. I like Arcanine a lot. Arcanine might be... It's in my top 5 Pokemon. And it's probably in my top 2 for Gen 1. Trashy Rapidash has a rash. I feel like they could make a rap lyric out of that link. This trashy Rapidash has a rash. Alex with Chad Pokemon. I feel like Arcanine is pretty close to a Chad Pokemon. Preschoolers are the most diverse group of children in school. You develop your personality between 4 and 5, which makes it hard. Aha, I was right. Oh, that does sound very difficult, though. Good on you, Courtney, for being able to do something like that. And probably enjoying it somewhat. Like, I feel like I'd probably be able to do that, but it's just, like, not the sort of thing I like. I really like just being a teacher of high schoolers. It's like the... I don't know. It's like the age group where children learn about the stuff I'm interested in. That makes sense? Like physics and stuff. I think it's more about physics than it is about, like, physics and science than it is about the age of the children themselves. Like, you can teach science at a young age, but not the interesting stuff. It's like the stuff like, oh, that's cool. But, like, I'm interested in the stuff like, I figured this out on my own by, like, doing an experiment. The look on their faces is so nice. It's like, whoa! Return! What are you doing? Goal in Skull Cave? Right now I'm trying to collect a few different things. So, like, Galaxy Souls, Fiddlehead Ferns, Radioactive Ore, Batwings. All of these things are things I want. Purple slime eggs are nice too, and squid ink's kind of like okay. I'm attempting to collect 999 of every stackable item in the game. So some of those items... Oh, here's another thing I need, are Q-Gems. Which were at 993, which is my birth year, minus 1,000. Yes, I am a high school teacher. I teach physics. As of this year, officially. How's the new school going? It's going well so far, but we had orientation today, so I haven't actually taught anything yet, and I'm not going to teach anything until next week. So this week has been kind of preparing for school to start, basically. I need to get up tomorrow. Bye, Mermaid. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Get some rest. I know you're over in the UK, so it must be 10 o'clock. Is it 10:30? Mermaid, go to bed. No, it's later than that. I pronounce it Q, but there's no official pronunciation. I don't think Q is in any way right, but it's the way I read it when I first saw it, and I kind of like it, so. The I is silent. There's no verbal I in Q. Q is pronounced with your heart, yeah. Yes, Concerned Ape, the developer of the game, has gone on record with saying, like, there's no canon way to pronounce it. It's up to whatever you want. Which is kind of how he feels about the game in general. Like, whatever your experiences are with the game is what's true to you, is kind of his mindset on it. Chunky, I'm not reading that sentence. I don't like it. Without a very non-standard system, you can't teach most of it properly for a long time because of the maths. Yeah, exactly. Mermaid. Science requires math. As much as a lot of people would not like to admit that, you can't really do science unless you have the math to back it up. You can, you can explore the ideas of science for sure, but if you want to like do hard science, you need to have the math skills. Hey, Angelina, welcome in. Oh yes, we all love CA. CA is incredible. Oh boy, I hope no one heard that. Have you gotten a hug from a preschooler? I have. It was my nephew, but yes, that's fair. 11 Tactiles, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, Autumn, I love math. Like, I don't think you probably can love science without loving math, but I think they kind of go hand in hand if you go into the upper levels of science. Like, you at least have to very much appreciate math. But yeah, I love math personally. I think it's really cool. I love it as a tool for science, but I also love it as like its own pursuit of interest. I didn't mean to imply like it's only a tool for science. Well, I think what Mermaid and I were saying is like you need the math background to do science. Like it's a required tool. I pronounce it key. Yeah, I think a lot of people pronounce it key. I think that makes sense for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. Ooh, Leah's Pokemon. I don't know who any of these are except for Turtwig and Servine, I think. And really, I can only picture Turtwig. I feel like Leah would have something that's like super cute, but like super strong as well. I can't think of anything that fits that bill right now, but I feel like that would be Leah's Pokemon. Like it might be a grass type that's like really strong. Yeah, I know Turtwig. It's like the turtle one, right? Skidoo is grass goat. For some reason. Okay, Onion, I know what you meant, like, after the third time I read it, but for some reason I was thinking, like, goat was a type. It's a grass goat type. That really tickled me for some reason. I think he says it like the Kiwi, which is ridiculous. You mean like someone from New Zealand, or like the type of... Is there like a flavor of kiwi that I'm unaware of? Oh no, what did I do? Oh no, I said something good. Whenever everyone in my chat starts laughing, I assume they're laughing at me. Is that like a bad thing? Have you guys conditioned me incorrectly? I feel like CA chose that pronunciation to throw people off, because I don't think I've ever heard anyone else pronounce it that way. And he didn't want people to have a canon pronunciation, so he just chose one that was ridiculous, because he had to say the word. Goat. I feel like people are voting for the ones they know. I feel like this poll would be a lot better if it had pictures. Obviously, you can't do that on Twitch. But, like, maybe we could do this at a different time. You can still do them now if you want to, Onion. But we could have, like, a runoff. This seems like something I'm actually interested in what people think. You could have, like, nominations and then a vote. Don't need that. Can I get rid of the bombs? Probably not. Nope. Mix them together. Mix them together, and what do you get? Yu-Gi-Oh! Just add the fusion card to the Pokemon trading card game. Alright. So here's what's going to happen real quick here. I'm going to go ahead and take myself a short little break. I need to use the restroom and also, like, move my body in a way that's not slouched forward in this horrendous for my back position. 11! Oh my goodness! Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs! Okay, well, I can't leave now. 11, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Spag, Flamingo, Ski, Leftover Lizard, and Sprinkles. Y'all got caught lurking, first of all. And second of all, welcome to the stack. Enjoy your things. What are they? Ad-free viewing, that's one of them. Sub badge, that's the other. And emotes. Welcome in, everyone. And 11, thank you again for the 5 gifted subs. Alright, everyone. I'm going to be back in just a few minutes. Enjoy the remaining alerts for the subs. And I'll see you all very shortly. Oh, I'm going to run 3 minutes of ads while I'm gone, because it will... I can't run them? Alright, I'm going to try and run ads while I'm gone and see how that goes. But I'll be back very shortly, because it'll disable pre-rolls. BBB.
Oh, it's a person.
A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Whoa, what happened? Everyone revolted. Did I scare you, Samantha? Sorry. Oh, I can run ads now? Well, probably not a good idea now. Hey, Lizard. Yep, congrats on your gifted sub. Welcome in. Look at all the rioting. Y'all need to stop revolutionizing the industry every time I leave for 10 seconds. I might have gotten some food. It might be in front of me right now. But you won't know that. How could you know? What are you eating? It's called sherry chicken. This is gonna sound a little bit gross, but basically you take chicken, put it in a casserole bowl, you cover it with a strip of cheese, and what's it called? Like creamy chicken soup, something like that. It's like creamy kind of chicken soup. Just pour it over the top there, and then you cover that with breadcrumbs, and you cook it in there. It's really good. And then it gives you like a little gravy that you can put on your potatoes too. Also, you mix it with sherry wine, which is why it's called sherry chicken. Wow, I'm going really slow right now. It's really tasty. It's one of my favorite ways to prepare chicken, I think. Which, that's a long list. So, being on the top of that one's pretty cool. I've tried a few other ways, and I don't know, they always seem to disappoint. It's just like chicken with something on top of it. This one like melds really well, I feel like. Onion, I don't think the order matters. Like, I don't think it makes any mechanical difference if those are reversed. What's Robin doing? Where's Robin? I don't think Robin's on my farm right now. You might have seen Leah. Leah is my wife. It matters to me. Alright, order matters, I guess. Yeah. Leah should be standing outside the door of our home because that's where she lives, but I don't think Robin's here. Robin should be at home in bed right now? Yeah. She doesn't get up for another, like, hour or something. I always go to the wrong one. Hey, Onion. Hey, Onion. Hey, Onion. I don't need to say anything else. Thank you, Onion. If you would like to vote in the Gamba, please be aware of the following circumstances. Each one of these statues of Endless Fortune has a 1 in 4 chance of producing an Omnigeode. So that means, roughly, that the Omnigeode has a 1 in 4 chance of winning. However, you get some extra information. You get the first 108 statues to see where we're sitting at. And it looks like Omnis are just 2 behind Iridium bars at the moment. And Chunky has more information if you're interested. The general thing is, though, Omnis are unlikely to win. They have a 1 in 4 chance of winning. So you should hedge your bets based on that. They do have a chance of winning, but you never give me enough time to copy-paste. Well, I gotta talk too, Chunky. This is my stream. Not everyone wants to read your drivel. Sap birthday. Is it your birthday, Sapling? That's awesome. Happy birthday, bud. I really like the word drivel. It just feels so insulting. Is no one else betting? Almost as old as Algo now. What are you, like 11? Happy birthday, Sapling. I'm gonna eat food really quick, so sorry.
Don't put that evil on me, sapling.
What is it? August 18th? That's a respectable birthday. Just before the school year, though, so you don't get your birthday cupcakes in school. Jedi, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Stack on. Rock on. Rock on. You started school on your birthday many times. Oh, interesting. That's, perhaps unfortunate. But it's a good opener for meeting new people. Guess what today is? August 18th. It's my birthday! It's my dad's birthday. Thanks for reminding me. Samantha, I feel like you should have known that. Send him a card in the mail. Embroidered. Yep, I remember. I had a, well, I have a July birthday. So, in school, some teachers would just ignore you, which was really sad. But some teachers would do your half birthday if your birthday didn't fall on a school day. So we'd have a bunch of extra birthdays in like the January, February area. Brady needs to chill, maybe? Maybe? Come on? What? What the heck's wrong, Chunky? Oh, I didn't even notice you were talking about. What are you talking about? They won, JK. That was actually very close. That's a lot of Omnis. I'm not mad about that, that's for sure. I wasn't even paying attention. Well, wallow in your pity. I'm gonna eat some more food real quick. What? Sneakers? I'm eating. I can't. Who did this? Sapling. In 7th grade, the teacher would let the birthday kid sit in her chair for the class. That's actually really awesome, Winter said. I would feel so empowered. Need some grape juice. Grandpa, welcome in. There are no rules, Chunky. Oh, Onion, are you not... Onion might not be here for the minute. I'll finish off the prediction, I guess. Omnis lose. Okay, I will grab Sneakers in a second, but I gotta finish eating. Onion, do your job. I'm totally kidding, don't worry. Alright, Saturday, I guess we're coming here. I'm thinking about taking physics in 11th grade. I inspired you. Oh, wow. I don't know if I've ever inspired anyone before. That's awesome, though. Think about it really hard. Some people have a lot of trouble with physics, that's for sure. It's a very different mindset from a lot of other classes. A lot of classes you can get by with just kind of memorizing things. That's not true for physics. You have to know how to do the stuff. It's kind of like math in that way. But, like, in addition to maths, like, you have to know how to solve the problems. You also need to understand the concepts. So it kind of, like, compounds that on top of it. Whereas in math, you usually can get by if you just know how to do the math. So it's kind of a combination of the two things, which is what I love about it, but also what makes it difficult for a lot of people. I know a lot of people that were extremely good at school and like got in their physics class and were absolutely stumped. Like they just had never had a grade that low before and they just didn't understand what was happening. Sometimes you have to change up like your studying method because like studying methods from other classes don't work as well, which is what makes it a really good like college prep class because it forces you to like really confront some of the things you might have been ignoring for a while. I like that winter set. Physics is a lot of problem solving, but it's a lot of also understanding how you were able to solve the problem. So in a typical question on a physics class, I will ask how to get the answer, and then like, why did you think this was the way to get the answer is like one of the other questions. And so not only do you have to solve the problem, you have to explain how you were able to solve the problem. I usually ask those in the opposite order, but the idea is still the same. Because solving the problem is only half the battle, right? You also have to explain to me that you understood why why this worked. It's about concept and it's about problem solving. Alright, a little bit more food real quick. You might think so, Onion, but that's also my best way of knowing that you actually understand what's going on. Which is my job as a teacher. I'm supposed to make sure you are actually understanding the work. And not just brute forcing things. It's great when you can brute force things and get them right. That's awesome. But I'm not teaching you how to brute force things in my class. I'm teaching you how to learn physics. If you couldn't explain your process, then you weren't a 10 student. That's part of the 10. Part of the 10 is explaining the process. You were an 8 student because you couldn't explain the process. For me, physics was very easy because it's about the real world. Just wait till you get to electricity. But I agree. Helen, welcome in, by the way. That's kind of how it was for me too, Helen. Like, I could visualize things so much better in physics. And that really helped me to understand what was going on. Like, it's a lot harder when you're talking about things you can't really visualize, like electricity and magnetism. Still love the stuff, but... And modern physics, God forbid. Alright. Let's go... What? Interesting. I had the worst physics teacher in year 11, so I switched to geography. You hate geography? How do you hate geography? Sorry, Chunky. Maybe you should stop trying to fight me in an alley. That doesn't seem like your play. Geography's amazing. I love geography. I assume a geography class would be less involved than Where is This Country? Actually, I took a geography class in high school and I really loved it. I'm convinced it's rigged by now. Chunky, you just gotta stop sucking and then it'll be fine. Why are you losing? Don't blame me. For your own failings. Geography sucked. Why would you not like learning about other places in the world? Don't you want to like learn your escape routes from Argentina, Onion? Was not a great student, did not take notes in class, so I could remember everything I didn't like the class. You know what? At least you're honest with yourself. 11. To be fair, that's kind of what I was like in high school, except I wasn't good at memorizing things, so it didn't really work out for me at all. I like the idea of chemistry. The execution's leaves a little bit more to be desired, personally. Wait, what happened to my Q gems? Didn't I just have like 900? What the heck? Look, why do I only have 5? Oh no, they glitched out like my health. Oh no. JK, I have 1,005. It's only got 3 things. Time to restart. Restart the whole run because I lost 1,000 key gems. Q gems. You have a bachelor's degree in math. I'm sure having that degree got you the job though, right, Grandpa? That's pretty typical. A lot of jobs just want you to have a degree. And you probably use it more than you think. Like, I tell my students very early on in class, like, in, like, 20 years, you're not going to remember, like, how to apply Newton's first law in, like, this problem. What you're going to remember is, like, the problem-solving and studying techniques that you learned in the class. Those are pretty much more important than the physics I'm teaching, but they're taught through the lens of physics, which is important. So you almost certainly use, like, your math skills from your degree. You're just not, like, doing calculus. Or discrete. Specifically. Can you show your hammer? I wanted to see what I forged. Sure thing, Pupusaurus. So it's an infinity gavel with Artful, and it's got 3 rubies on it that increase the damage. No problem. I didn't learn any problem solving or studying techniques. Yeah, that was kind of my problem in uni too. It's like, I'll just treat this like high school, even though, like, literally everyone told me, don't treat this like high school, you'll fail. Guess what happened? I didn't do well. I was like... I wasn't like a genius in high school, but I was smart enough that I got decent enough grades without doing anything. And by decent, I mean they weren't great, but like, they were passing. And so I like tried to apply that to the rest of my life, and it didn't go so well. So I had to learn all of my studying habits in college, which is a little late, unfortunately. I did IB in high school. It was really intense. I had to learn study skills. What is IB? Autumn? I'm sure I'll know it as soon as you say it. I can't think of it right now. I'm sure it's just like a tough AP cut kind of class, right? No, this game usually runs really well, Pupusaurus. I don't think I've ever had, like, enemies cause the frame rate to drop. My new graphics card, it seems like it causes the frame rate to drop randomly sometimes, but it's like so it like does not matter at all. At least for this game. I might have to worry about it in other games in the future. But I don't think this game is like super well optimized, but I think it's certainly optimized enough for how little space it takes up for your computer's memory. International Bachelorette? Okay, I see. It's like a program where you... It's kind of like Honor Society or something. Went to a really crappy high school, very small, nearly all teachers first-year teachers, so it wasn't easy to do well. Yeah. Sometimes life doesn't really set you up well to do well. Wasn't the case for me, but it definitely is the case for a lot of people. I should have done well, I just chose not to. I have Grandpa. I played it a lot on my Surface. It works perfectly fine. It like really zooms out the screen. Like you can zoom out really far on the Surface because the resolution of the screen is so high. But it runs perfectly fine, if that's what you're asking about. My Surface is my like work. Well, it's a personal device, but I use it for work because it's really convenient to move around. I've got like, God, I don't remember the numbers. I had a 3 for a very long time, and then that one started to slow down after like almost 7 years. So I got like the 8. Is it 8 now? I don't know. I got it like 2 years ago, I think. But I'm pretty sure it ran fine on my 3 as well. Like, Stardew just runs well on everything. Oh, we went too far. I didn't even notice. Has anyone had a computer that wasn't able to run Stardew? Like, I imagine, like, a very old computer probably wouldn't be able to, but... Probably not many. Like, you could probably go back a while. Can run Stardew on my 13-year-old laptop? Yeah. This just actually is a game that'd be really easy to run. Like, honestly, the lack of 3D graphics makes such a huge difference for running games. Like, anything with 3D, like, instantly, like, quintuples the usage of your PC. The fact that this is top-down, or... I guess this is isometric, right? I don't know. I don't understand words sometimes. I have a Commodore 64 that probably could... I mean, if it can't run Windows, it probably can't run Stardew, but other than that, I bet you'd be hard-pressed to find something that couldn't run it. Mine starts to lag hard after like 8 hours of playing. You could probably just restart it though, right? Like at the end of the day. I don't know. That's a lot of hours to play Stardew. Like, I play a lot, Chunky, but... That's a lot. Drop frames if it rained and it was really slow loading days. I mean, mine is slow loading days, and I think that has more to do with the file size than anything else. It probably polls game random 1 to determine how long it takes to load the file. Probably just restart your computer, Chunky, and it should be like immediately fine. It might have just been overheating. And now it's ruined. You don't have to stream, Chunky. I mean, I'm glad you are, but like, it's making it harder for you to play. This isn't a bat floor. Gross. Hey, Gender, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. We are absolutely decimating the mines today. I've got 31 Q gems and a dream. Mo, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're doing well today. Wow. That, like, beat for beat repeated exactly what I said. That sounded very insincere. I apologize, Mo. You're awesome. Welcome in. My brain tends to, like, run together, so I apologize if that sounded, like, super insincere or something. I meant it, I swear. Mine really stopped working well when I tried to screen record while running. Oh, yeah. Oh, were you trying to speedrun, Hedgehog? Oh, Gender, I'm really sorry to hear that. I mean, I really can't... I really hope that everything works out in the best for you in the long run, no matter what you end up choosing. Hey Glue, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Whoops, should have grabbed that. Ooh, Hedgehog, what's your craft room time? I'm definitely not comparing our times or anything, but I'm just curious. I'm not judging much. You're probably faster than me. I only ran it like one time.
Oh, it's a person.
Onion, thank you for the follow. No, Sophia, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. You don't animation cancel? 39 minutes? 39 minutes is pretty good with no AC. My goal eventually, I want to sub 30-minute crafts room. I think I can do it. I hit 32 on my like second try, I think, but I think it's definitely doable for me. It wasn't doxing until you said anything, Onion. Have you considered, like, trying to use animation canceling, Hedgehog? It's actually super fun. I thought it was going to be weird, like, to do something like that, but it's actually really nice. Yeah. I like Crafts Room because it's not very RNG heavy, but also it's kind of RNG heavy. Unfortunately, just speedruns in this game in general have a lot of RNG to them. Crafts Room is nice that it only has one bit of RNG, but you do have to reset for that if you want a competitive time. Usually you're pretty okay, though. It's rare that... It's like a 50-50, I feel like, for Crafts Room, that you get it. Yeah, the Long Serpents are pretty funny. Play on a Mac and it's hard to set up. Oh, were you the one asking about that? You might have been. I know someone was asking about animation canceling on a Mac. In one of the Discords or other. Just modded animation cancel. You can't speedrun with that, though. I know you said cool, so you probably know that. But just in case anyone else is curious, you cannot use a modded client for speedrunning, even if you don't have any mods on. I think we're going to do another Pokemon poll in the future, Grandpa, on Discord, because this is actually really fun to me. I really like this idea. We'll take, like, nominations and stuff rather than just Onion coming up with them off the top of their head. Oh, no problem, Hedgehog. Yeah, I didn't spend the time for a long time. Gosh, I could have been animation canceling years ago. I might actually be good at it by now. Like, I was watching Haboo 2 years ago, and I'm like, the animation canceling thing is sweet, but it's not like I could ever do it. It's, like, super simple to set up. At least on Windows. I don't know. I think a lot of people have that mindset. That it's just like you watch someone do something and you're like, I could never do that. It turns out, like, a lot of the time it's not very difficult. Or it's like doesn't have as big of a entry as you think it would. Like animation canceling is, it's certainly not easy. It has like a skill floor and a skill ceiling and everything, like a really high skill ceiling to get better at it. But like even not very good animation canceling is still a lot faster than not animation canceling. You can learn it like in an afternoon too, just by playing the game normally. I don't want to do that, says Chunky. There's got to be a better way that I can help out without standing on the sidelines. Alright, bats. Throw away algae? Throwing away gold? Yes. The nice thing about this challenge, Gender, is when I'm done with something, I don't have to think about throwing it out or not. Most things that I pick up are worthless to me. So I don't care if I'm throwing out algae or gold. If I don't need it, I don't need it. Dang it, I killed bats on the same tiles, so they both dropped iridium bands. Skull mines are addictive? Absolutely. Yeah. Let's not talk about that, though, 11. I'm glad that you found some silver lining in it, but I don't want to discuss that on stream at all. I will admit, though, I feel similarly in that regard. If you want to talk about that, you can feel free to chat about it in Discord, but I don't want to think about that while I'm streaming. I ran out of ladders? Number theory rabbit holes. Wikipedia's a dangerous place, Autumn. Be careful. Be careful in there. Ah, got it, 11. Yeah, I know it had some context. I'm just letting everyone know, as well as you, that we're not going to talk about that today. You can ask on Discord if you want to, Gender. I just don't want to talk about it in stream. I'm like trying to ladder, and I'm so my brain is like confused. Like, why am I not laddering down right now? What am I doing? Yeah, if you check the announcements page, there's something about it, but put this away. Where are my bat wings? I guess we got enough, huh? No problem, Glue. Enjoy your dinner. Thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you. How do I make oil makers? So easy to forget these recipes. Okay. Hardwood gold bars. I need more hardwood than that. I'm glad I got all that hardwood I didn't need. Okay. Let's drop you off. And you Wow, we're almost most of the way there. Takes so much slime to finish these. The crazy thing is... is the next thing I have to do, which is these slime incubators. It requires twice as much slime as these oil makers take. So look how long it's taking me to get all these oil makers, and the incubators take twice as long. Yep, you got the subs, Bag. Congrats. Oh, I passed out. Finally done with the Pokemon polls. Harvey? Bag, don't put that evil on me. Chunky's gonna dig himself out from the bottom of the lurk stack to condone what you said. Slime hutches are not an effective way to gather slime. For the purposes of this challenge, at least. They have a very large footprint on the farm, which has a very high opportunity cost for other things I could be placing there. But more important than that, they just take up time and don't give that much slime. According to this scuffed Pikachu, this stuffed Pokemon quiz, Haley should have a Mewtwo. Everyone should just have a Pidgey. I think everyone could get a Pidgey if they wanted a Pidgey. 11. Poor Pidgey. 1 second. I'm back. Streamer is here. He's just nodding his head. Shelby, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening as we collect from these statues of endless fortune. I guess we have to behave. That's not stopping anyone else, Shelby. Don't worry. I like how you came in right when my head was down, and then I just picked it up. Just Quinnin! Are you a League player by chance? Welcome in, Just Quinnin. I hope you're doing well today. Oh, there you go, Just Quinnin. Perfect timing. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you so much for joining with the follow and watching my YouTube video. That's so awesome that you enjoyed it. This week has been exhausting. Yes, I'm in the same kind of boat, Shelby. Luckily for me, I walked into my classroom and it was kind of already set up. The previous teacher just, like, everything was already pretty nice. Like, there's some other stuff I would probably want to add, but I think it's pretty good as it is right now. Ah, your husband's the League player. Okay. Oh, the chest exclamation. Oh, that's amazing. I really liked how that video turned out. It was just like totally impromptu, and I feel like I did a really good explanation. So I'm glad you liked the video. Okay. You didn't have to clean up anyone. Dude, the teacher before me kept such a good room. He had all of his equipment sorted. So this is a physics lab. So there is like actually hundreds of pieces of equipment scattered throughout the room. It's all sorted, and there's a spreadsheet on the wall that tells you where everything is. This guy is just future me. I came into the room, I'm like, oh my god, there's so much equipment, I'm gonna have to sort through all of it, and like, I see the spreadsheet, my eyes just go, oh. Alright. Strangely enough, we don't need to go to the beach. I'm just gonna take the long way. Spreadsheet! It was a printed out spreadsheet, though. I don't know if it counts. I mean, it looks like it was made in Excel, so maybe. I bet I have the file, because he left behind, like, his entire Google Drive, so I bet it's in there somewhere. So I can edit it if I needed to. This is my first year teaching at the school. I am not interested in editing where anything is at the moment. But later on, maybe. Yeah, tomorrow is our, like, syllabus day. So we have, like, kind of a full class day, but, you know, we're expected to just, like, go over our syllabuses and not give work tomorrow. And then Monday, school, like, officially starts. I've got a class of 5 students, and I'm so excited for it, Shelby. I don't know if you've ever had a class that size before, but I'm very excited for it. I feel like it's going to be, like, just a fun time. I'm just going to hang out and talk about physics. It's AP Physics 2, so, like, everyone who's in there is, like, definitely already super into physics as well. It is a specialized class, that's why the class size is small. I never know, Onion. I never know. I'll go for at least another hour, and then I'll see how I feel. But I have no idea for real. Forgot about time zones. Yep. It is currently Thursday here. Yes, I would not be up right now if it was if it was Friday. School's gonna slap you in the face on Monday. Wow, Omni's got crushed, and not in the Clint kind of way. You think I meant one thing by that, but I actually meant the other thing. Alright. Sunday, let's go see our friend, the Traveling Merchant, and see what she's got in stock. Oh, I didn't know you moved schools, Shelby. Did you tell me that? If you try it on a controller, it can sometimes be more comfortable for gameplay. I don't feel uncomfortable playing the game. Right now I'm just tired because I didn't get enough sleep last night and I had a full day at work. I'll take those. I certainly don't like feel uncomfortable or anything. This is our last day for Fiddleheads in the Secret Woods. We got one Yoba, please. Happens super fast and it's exhausting, yes. Starting a new school like this late, well, it's not even late in the year because, you know, it hasn't started yet, but yeah, that can be very stressful. Just had the ice festival. No, I am a high school teacher, but I'm teaching college classes. Those AP classes are technically college courses. They're just at a high school level, which is exactly what I'm going to tell my students. Yeah, I'm teaching a regular physics too, which is just a normal college class. I'm sorry, high school class. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I teach all physics right now, which is amazing for me. Currently filling out a job application. It wants me to list 3 attributes that set me apart. I hate job applications so much, 11. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to deal with that, but we've been there, so a lot of us know how that's like. I would write that. That might actually separate you from the other candidates by writing that. I don't know. I have a job, so it's hard for me to say I would write that. Because I have job security already. I feel so dirty when I'm writing a job application. Just like I'm just making stuff about myself up. Because it's what you're supposed to do. It's such a dumb... Yeah, it's just dumb. Alright, Onion. Run as fast as you can. Enjoy your dinner, and you might be here before the end. That kind of rhyme. It's like a slant rhyme, right? Can and end. I mean, if you really stretch it. Okay, give me coconuts. Oh, yes, you are, Hedgehog. I mean, you're not, like, lying per se, but you are... Like, I'm not talking about, like, you're making up facts, but you are super embellishing yourself, and you have to. Because it's what you're supposed to do on a job interview and in the, I don't know. It's just such a silly thing to me. Thank you, Cat. Coconuts. 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 Why would you want to work here? Well, you're paying money, which is a step above the last thing I was doing. Where are we spinning now, Hedgehog? Oh, yeah. Like spinning yarn, like Rumpelstiltskin. Back just in time for coconuts. Alright. We're never going to get above 900 Monster Musk, are we? Seems like a pipe dream at this point. I know, right? That's what I would write on my resume if I didn't have to lie. 11 is like, I am reasonably good at this job. You will not find another reasonably good person at this job. Yeah, there's just so many people applying for jobs that you have to stand out somehow. I am very lucky that I am a science teacher, and there are like 12 of us total in the world, so I can kind of get away with a little bit less than most people have to deal with. I still embellish the heck out of my resume, but I think everyone does that. Also need to go eat. Everyone's leaving me for food. I mean, like, I don't blame you, but... Yes, my current job was also from a referral, despite being like a science teacher that is really needed, like almost everywhere. This job came from a referral. I feel like that's most jobs. I wonder if I'm even going to apply in the future, or if I'm just going to email people until they hire me. Because that's basically how I've gotten most of my jobs. Which again is very dumb. Why do you have an application process if you don't even use it? I almost never get callbacks, despite being like the perfect candidate for the job. Your BF is a middle school math teacher. BFF. Well, that was a odd turn of events when I got to the second. And she keeps trying to convince me I should be a teacher. That's between you and yourself there, 11. If you want to be a teacher, you better really want it. Especially middle school. Oof. No offense to middle school teachers, but a lot of offense to middle schoolers. Because you have to, by law, apply to the job, you mean? I mean, yes, but if you email first and they're like, you should apply, you're like, yeah, now I will, because you'll actually look at my resume. I wouldn't say that, Shelby, but you do have to kind of want it. You gotta kind of want to be a teacher, which is really sad. I feel like it could actually be a good profession for a lot of people if they like decrease their workload slightly and increase the pay a bit. there's just like so much. There's so much like looking over your shoulder and like second guessing you and making you do stuff that doesn't matter in teaching. Where it's just like, you know, I have a degree and I went to... Luckily my current school isn't like that too much, but like everywhere else I've been, it's just been like, hey, you need to go to this PD. Hey, you need to go to this PD. Hey, did you know about metacognition? Hey, have you heard this new crazy technique called classroom management? Have you considered getting to know your students better? Maybe they'll like you more. No, Mr. Principal, I don't think the student that tried to stab me is going to like me more just because I said he had a nice shirt on. I'm exaggerating, obviously. He threatened to stab me. A little bit different. Just invented classroom management. Everyone who does a PD somehow thinks that they were the first one to come up with this idea. It's like 8th grade syndrome. Where it's like someone coming up with the idea of a perpetual motion machine and going to like the college physics department and being like, hey, have you tried this? Oh yes, Shelby. And people love to tell you their teaching opinions. I don't get mad very easily, but... Oh boy. I was talking to someone recently. I don't even remember exactly where or who it was. But, like, I explained something about, like, teaching to them. They knew I was a teacher. Like, we've been talking about it for a while. And they're just like, no, that's not how it works. It works like this instead, was what they said. It took all my self-restraint to not just be like... I'm not a violent person, but... No, I haven't, Hedgehog. I imagine it'll probably happen this year, though. These students are, probably on Twitch. Oh, your name's Quinn. Okay. I assume you know about the League of Legends character, also named Quinn. That was what I thought when I saw it. I think I stopped playing League before Quinn came out. I came back a few times, though. I've had some bad kids, but I don't think I've ever had a kid that I've been like, I'm going to quit teaching because of this kid. I've had administrations most of the time that have made me feel that way. My current administration seems really good, though, so we'll see how that goes. Definitely no parents. I'm going to keep quiet about the stream. I considered telling my administration, but, like, I don't think any good could come from that. If they find out, I'll just be like, hey, you know what, whatever. I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm kind of, like, nobody anyways. I used to volunteer a lot at my son's elementary school when he lived in the US. Yeah, 11. It's just... I get it. For a lot of parents, their kids are everything. And really for all parents, you know, their kids are super important to them. It's hard to, like, put their raising in someone else's hands for a lot of parents. Especially when, like, they don't fully understand what that person's doing, right? They never taught before, so... they don't understand why, like, they're getting a C. Because they don't see their kid at school, they only see them at home. And little Johnny is so perfect in their mother's eyes, but he also just doesn't do any work. That's it 90% of the time, by the way. It's like they just refuse to do the work they need to do. Mike Bene. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you encourage your kids to take the AP test? Yes. My school is like a hyper college prep school. So the final exam is the AP test. You're not a nobody. Oh, thank you, Quinn. I mean, I get a reasonable amount of viewers. I know I'm not a nobody, but like in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty much a nobody. I keep my stream really clean. So even if they found out about it, I wouldn't be worried. Yeah, me too, Shelby. Me too. Yeah, that's as well. That's correct as well, Hedgehog. I actually, I don't think I was going to, but I thought about Cult of the Lamb. I'll probably just play it on my own, because it does look like a fun game. But I don't think I'm going to play that on stream. Yeah, Gender, it might happen in the future. If knowledge about my stream ever gets out, and if it does, I assume everyone will know about it by the next day. I'm just going to tell my students, if you say anything about being my student in stream, I'll just have to ban you. So, don't do that. Just like the age rule, like, just don't ask, don't tell. Although, this isn't an 18+ stream, so... I don't think I'd want my students watching me is the thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind in the future. Shut up, Onion. I'm a science teacher. I teach just like 11th and 12th grade, actually. All of my students, I thought I might have some sophomores, but they're all juniors and seniors in high school. So the last 2 years of high school in the US. I don't know what you call it in the UK. If the grade numbers are different or something. So they're old enough? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I get discovered this year. Discovered is probably a weird way to put it, but like... Ding, 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 ding. You know, I said that, Gender, and then I realized you're definitely not. Because you both have purple names. I sometimes get you confused with Demonic Mermaid, who is from the UK. Like, I know your Gender and their Mermaid, but like, sometimes my mind is just like, oh, UK. Yeah. I don't think I know where you're from, but you don't have to say if you don't want to. Seven. That's good enough. Yeah, no problem, Gender. Purple equals UK. It's the stupid human brain that likes to match patterns. You know this. Human brains love patterns, even if they don't make any sense. Yeah, no problem, Gender. Although, I would never associate someone by what their country has done. Just like I expect you not to associate me with my country. I don't know what you're saying, 11. A Papina? For the win? Is that a country? Or is that something else you're referring to? Itch. Not the dance of the moonlight jellies. Oh no. Ah! I didn't even know that it had a name. I just assumed it was a thing that human brains did. Which it is, but I guess everything has a name. Oh, it's like a condition where you do it a lot. I wouldn't say I do it a lot. I feel like I do it the normal amount. A lot of people do it because that's how our brains work. We like associations and patterns. Even if they're not logically sound. It's just more convenient for our brain. It lets our brain take shortcuts that it wouldn't be able to take otherwise. That's why color coding notes work so well. I wonder how I'll get 999 auto petters. Well, it's actually kind of similar to what I'm doing now. Except I'm not stopping on most of the floors. And I have more luck buffs. Oh yeah, trust me. I know 11. I know. I don't think it'll be very careful, Onion. Might actually be the opposite of careful. I was diagnosed with ADD, wow, can't even speak, when I was younger, which apparently that's not even a thing anymore. But, I guess, like, I either learned how to deal with it or, like, somewhat outgrew it, because by the time I was, like, in high school, I didn't really need the medication anymore, and I was able to function, like, perfectly fine without it. Perfectly fine might not be the right way to put it, but fine enough. But I do still have some of those tendencies, I feel like. They're just not significant. But I was talking to someone the other day, and then we both, like, randomly started singing the same song because there was, like, a slight reference to it in something that someone said. And they were like, yeah, you do that too? Oh my, they're like, my ADHD brain is, like, right on that every single time. I'm like, is that what that is? Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, I think that's it, gender. I've like created, I think I did this when I was younger, but I've like created systems in my head that like every time I'm about to do something, like my brain like does a little thing where it's like, no, instead of do you really want to do that? Think about how that's gonna do this and that, and then I just don't say anything instead. Instead, I'm socially awkward instead of ADHD. I think part of the problem was I was ADD or ADHD, and then also like super lazy. So they thought the laziness was a symptom, but I think it was just me being lazy. Auto grabber? That's not the auto I wanted. Error! Hey yo! Welcome in! How are you doing, bud? It's been a while. $5 months. Well, Error, welcome back to the stack. Thank you so much for the resubscription for 5 whole months. I hope you're doing well. Enjoy your sub badges, your emotes, and your ad-free viewing. Thank you so much for the resubscription, bud. Too busy with work? Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm pretty busy with work myself, but I feel like if I don't stream, I'm gonna regret it. Like I said before, this is how I relax, pretty much. No problem, Hedgehog. Thanks so much for hanging out. Going to bed soon. I mean, to be fair, I won't be streaming for too much longer. So you probably won't miss too much. equip rings. We have a rings command, PPsaurus. There we go. Makes it a little easier. But generally speaking, this one is for killing monsters. It's the Savage Ring and Burglar Ring. And then these two are exactly the same. They're Iridium Bands with a Luck Ring. No problem, Gender. You can use your Prime on whoever you want. I do this as a hobby. It's not like I need the money. But it's always nice to get the support all the same. In 10 days, it'll be 6 months. Oh, that's awesome, Error. You get your shiny new badge. Gonna die. Ooh, that was close. Sims, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Wait, that just takes me to 40? Oh no, I got 2 more floors still. Onion, can we get a shout out for Sims? Also, Onion, welcome back. I swear I saw you say... I saw you wave, but I'm doing well, Sims. For those of you who don't know, Sims is an excellent streamer, and if you want to ever catch her live, just like go on Twitch, because she's always live. 11, thank you so much for gifting a sub to My Gender is Broken. Well, Gender asked for it, huh? Gender, welcome to the stack. Enjoy your emotes, your sub badge, and your ad-free viewing. Sims, I'm not joking. You're like literally always on streaming. Like sometimes I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and I'll just be like, I wonder who's online, you know? Like almost no one's streaming because I don't really follow people outside the time zone too much. I'm just like, there's Sims. Wasn't Sims streaming at like 12 hours ago too? And it's not like you took a break or anything. I don't know. You have like, it's amazing that you're able to stream for that long. I get so tired out from streaming. Oh, you heading out now, Error? Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, get some rest. I know work is work. Oh, passed out. Welcome to fall, everyone. We made it. Somehow. Oh. So what's the over-under on getting Skull Cavern Invasion again? I started your challenge over again because we decided to turn the Perfection Farm into a 999. Well, that's amazing, Sims. It's awesome that you're doing that. If you need any advice, feel free to ask. I'm glad to help out. Just as a warning, it is a long challenge, but you know that. If you keep up your stream schedule, you'll probably pass me at some point. Dang, sorry, Error. At least they're paying you more, right? For forcing you into work. Can you fall from chair in the honor of fall? I'd rather not. Can I maybe not? Got forced to it today. I assume you got forced into work, right? That's what you're saying? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed your last comment, Error. I will be doing a 24-hour stream next week. Oh, that's awesome, Error. Let me know when you're doing it. I'll stop by. You can post about it in Discord if you want to. I should make a self-promotion channel, but for now it's probably fine just to post it in general or something. I'm not going to fall from my chair, Onion. My near 30-year-old bones have been through enough. Alright, let's Let's try to forget our sorrows by planting fiber. And deluxe speed grow. Gotta figure out my mic. Yeah, mics are surprisingly difficult. They're like almost as bad as printers sometimes. And I wouldn't normally put that evil on anything, but mics somewhat deserve it.
Oh, it's a person.
Tracy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. We are cleaning up the trash. What a waste of starfruit seeds this was. Yeah, microphones, it really depends. Honestly, the one I have, which is a crappy blue snowball from 10 years ago, is very reliable. Like, you plug it in and it works 90% of the time. But, like, I've had microphones before that I've had to finagle with for hours. And I don't want to do that. Ever, for anything. Maybe they've gotten better too, though. There's also like a huge disparity between like the really expensive microphones and like the ones that are 20 bucks. It's amazing like how much the difference in price for those can be. Like a good like podcast microphone nowadays is like what, $500 to $1,000 for one microphone. And obviously you don't have to shell out that much, but this blue snowball was a gift, so I don't even know how much it was, but it definitely wasn't that much. If you have OBS, Era, you can put a filter on that'll filter out sounds that are quieter. I don't know if that'll work for that, but or Streamlabs, which is what I use, but it's the same thing pretty much. Got to apply deluxe speed grow without missing any tiles. Good luck. I guess if I miss a tile, I can just add it later. It won't matter. It'll be very easy to see which one it missed because it'll grow slower. Jew, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. First time on the stream? It's good to see you. Welcome in. I got one on Amazon for 40 bucks and it's better than my Blue Yeti. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, that's the other thing. It feels like mics are super inconsistent sometimes. You gotta, like, if you buy the expensive ones, you really have to, like, tune them perfectly. Otherwise, they're no better than, like, a crappy microphone. Which is outside of the range of things I'm capable of, because I'm bad with fine-tuning anything. Why, the deluxe speed grow? It's because it's not for the fiber. It's for summer 1st. So I'm going to plant starfruit on summer 1st, which is almost a year away at this point. But if I have the deluxe speed grow there and there's fiber on it, all I have to do is remove the fiber, and voila, I can just plant. It keeps the deluxe speed grow there. So it's really just there to keep the soil. Thank God for YouTube. Yeah. I feel like half of the stuff I do now, I look at a YouTube tutorial before I even attempt it. I'm like, this is going to give me trouble, isn't it? I might as well just get ahead of it. Honestly, the best headset I ever bought was like $10 on Amazon. This one was like $70, I think, and it's really good. But that one lasted, the $10 headset I bought on Amazon lasted me, the sound quality wasn't great, but I didn't care about that at that time. It lasted me like 6 or 7 years. The mic was fine, it wasn't perfect, but I wasn't streaming, so I didn't care. And like, the headset was comfortable, and it worked perfectly fine, and it never gave me any trouble. And I tried to buy another one from that company after, like, the headset didn't even break. The thing that went wrong was all the padding was ripped apart because I had it for 7 years. The headset was fine, though. That was the crazy thing. It still worked perfectly fine. I tried to buy one from the same company. It just wasn't nearly as good. It had problems and everything. Why not just put it on later? I don't know. I'd rather put it on now so I don't have to worry about it later. There's this thing called a library gender. No. I kind of went through school before YouTube was a thing as well. And the answer is I really didn't make it through. No, that's not entirely true. YouTube came out in 2007, but it like didn't really get popular, especially for like tutorials, until like 2010. That was already my senior year of high school. Oof. I mean, typically headset mics are always not going to be great. Error. That's like, you're never buying a headset for the microphone. If you want a good microphone, you have to buy the microphone separate. You're buying headsets for like good sound quality and noise cancellation if you want it. I actually kind of wish I didn't have noise cancellation on these though, because I can't hear myself talk, and sometimes it makes me slur my words. I wonder if anyone on stream thinks I have a lisp because of it. Ah, I see. So libraries for you then, 11. Didn't know YouTube was a thing until you were 16. It probably didn't take off as fast in like other countries, huh, Error? I never thought about that. It was probably mainly English for a very long time. But now, like, no matter where you're from, you can probably get information off of YouTube pretty well. What's that noise? Is that the song? Sounds like there's a waterfall. No, it's still going. What's that sound? I think these headphones are too good. I'm picking up... I think it's the fish pond. It sounds like waves crashing. Okay, anyways. Information carried in by dinosaurs. You're 20 now? Oh wow, that does seem really late then, Error. Only 4 years ago? Yeah, YouTube was definitely a thing everywhere by then. Sorry, I didn't mean to like freak out on all of you. Just like, I can only hear it in this ear. So I didn't think Stardew had directional sound. Kind of messing with me. 2014, that was only 4 years ago, right? Right, Error? 2014 was only 4 years ago. That's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded like the beach. I didn't have a smart tone until you were 16. Yeah, that'll do it. I was joking, Error. Because it feels like it was for me. Because time speeds up as you get older. The perception of time speeds up. And COVID did not help with that. You had to buy your own smartphone. Well, look at you self-starter. 1994 was only 4 years ago. Right, that's correct, 11. That would make me, 5, I guess? Which, I think I'm gonna get banned from Twitch if I say that, because I don't think I'm allowed to stream at 5. And W. Heatley. I feel positively ancient. Yep. Yeah, the internet has, like, changed so much. It actually does feel like a change in era, right? Like, people who grew up with the internet versus not having the internet. And us millennials are kind of stuck in the middle, where we had some internet. Had a little bit of internet growing up. Still remember very young me logging into AOL and it going. I can't even remember it anymore. You were -6? There you go, gender. 1994, I was 1. Possibly still 0, depending on when. Oh, now I would have been 1. You can join me in the old folks' home of the channel. There's more than 2 of you. I've definitely had some people come in and say they were up there in age. It's kind of what I like about Stardew. I feel like it brings in people, like, from everywhere. Like, all ages, all genders, all... just, like, everyone. Which is really cool. Like, so many different people like this game for so many different reasons. Ugh, my poor eyes. Algo saying just what I was about to say. I feel like I steal people's thoughts. Alright. It's Monday. Let's go see if we got Call Kevin again. Hey there, what's up? Only unminded Stardew had a non-binary option for the farmer. Also, hello. That's interesting. I feel like the only reason it wouldn't, hey there, the only reason it probably doesn't is because that's a lot of... I feel like it's a lot of work for Concerned Ape. I'm trying to think, like, what you exactly have to change, but... I'm sure he'd be interested in doing it, but I wonder how much that would take. I mean, that's not a very good excuse, I guess, but... Like, it's one thing to offer, like, a non-binary option in, like, a game that doesn't have romance and stuff. But, like, you have to change a whole lot of cutscenes when you do that. Otherwise, it just ends up sounding wrong, right? There are mods, but that's a little bit different, right? Mods can get away with some things that, like, Concerned Ape can't. And I don't mean in terms of, like, like, content. I mean in terms of, like, how polished it has to be. I'm sure Concerned Ape has an extremely high level of polish for this game, right? Like, he's probably very careful about what he releases and doesn't release and thinks about it really hard. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Ju. It's a lot of the dialogue has to change around, and you gotta be careful too. It's probably really easy to make mistakes on something like that. Yeah, Era, get some sleep. I love having you here, but you gotta work early. Get some rest. I'm sure he would be open to it. He strikes me as someone who would be. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Shelby. Also, if a mod says something, like, inconsiderately or, like, incorrectly that might offend people, that's just like, okay, well, the mod maker made a mistake, but I feel like people hold a final game to a much higher standard. So Concerned Ape would probably have to hire someone who, like, was more well-versed in something like that, or at least consult someone. Yeah, gender. I get what you're saying, but it's like, it's meant to reflect how a lot of people talk, and I feel like it would feel weird if the dialogue wasn't gendered, you know? I wish that we lived in a world where we could streamline things like that, but that's just how people talk, right? Do they sapling? I don't know. I'm not sure about this sapling, so it might be easier than I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, I agree. I think it would be awesome to have, but I guess I'm just trying to defend Concerned Ape, because I know he's not the type of person who would think this is a bad idea or anything. I don't really have all the answers other than that, though. I like that, 11. Clint is replaced by Clarice. Yeah. I don't know. My brain just goes into stupid defense mode. I know that everyone loves CA, so I don't know why I feel the need to say anything. Oh, I forgot to get my quest. Yeah, I don't think 1.6 is going to have a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a modding update. Oh, man. It's like a modding API, which will make what you're saying a lot easier as well. Hey there. It'll probably allow the mods to update a lot more easily and be more entwined with the game. But it's also going to be a like a very small amount of content, so I don't think something that big would get added. This is what? This is the same one I had last week. Exactly the same. This is the 4th one in a row. I don't know why I'm complaining. Why am I complaining? Chat, why am I complaining? Tell me to stop complaining. It's amazing. It's the exact same choice I had last week. I swear, the seating on this is so strange. It does not feel random sometimes. The stretches of time feel so long. No, wait, that's exactly what I want. Oh yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot better, 11. Still got some ways to go for sure, but it's definitely gotten a lot better. Like, even in my lifetime, which... I guess, like, my lifetime is actually not that short. But, like, the amount of change that has happened in that respect has been absolutely insane. Like, it went from, like, almost exclusively being looked at as, like, something not good, like, morally incorrect, to something that's... At least, maybe I just travel in different circles now than when I was younger, but... And maybe children are just different. But I feel like I didn't know anyone who was accepting of trans people when I was young. And accepting is probably not the right word, it's just, like... And now it's, like, everyone I know. Like, there's still a few people I know that are, like, they don't get it, but they're still accepting of it, right? It's amazing that much of a how much of a change there's been, which is so cool to see. In my language, all things are gendered, even objects. Yeah. So that's like, I mean, German, French. Wait, I don't know about French. I know German does that, although German has a neutral gender as well. Some languages only have the two. Spanish as well. I think most European languages are like that, right? Spanish is gendered, French is gendered. English isn't, I guess. Well, I actually swear I don't know. It's like when English is your first language, and this is probably true for other people who have like languages their first language. I feel like I know less about the language structure than I do about languages that I've learned secondhand. Like, I couldn't tell you how to conjugate verbs in English, I just do them. Hebrew as well? Yeah. I feel like the gender in that isn't like gender in real life, though. It's just meant to differentiate the words. I don't think it's supposed to be like actual gender. Of course, I'm not a linguist, so I might be wrong about that. My son is 12 and one of his really good friends is a transgender parent. I can't even imagine that happening back when I was 12. Okay, that's awesome, yeah. Sorry, I read the last word for some reason and nothing else. Just like skipped ahead. Wait, did I say in real life? This is the 4th one in a row. This might be the 5th this year. I can't remember. This is almost certainly the most I've ever had in a year, though. And, like, 4 of them were in a row. Like, my entire summer, outside of the first week, was just Call Kevin's. I see what you're saying. Like, so you can't use the word them. I've never thought about that before, gender. Like, how pronouns might be different in different languages. In the sense of, like, picking your pronouns. So, like, is there not an equivalent to, like, they, them in some languages? No, them. That's so strange. In my philosophy class, we often talked about how, like, not having a certain word means, like, you cannot think about that topic in, like, extreme detail, right? So, like, having the words to say something is super important in order to be able to, like, come up with complex thoughts about them. Or, like, even think the words, not just say them. So I wonder if that has that kind of influence, where there is no... If there's no neutral I was spamming the E key! Oh, that's so dumb. If there's no neutral gender term, like, in your language, then, like, how can you even conceive of what a neutral gender would be? Koitri, thank you so much for the follow. Sorry, I was on a little bit of a tangent there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Please, 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 please. 3 items. Oh my god. Luckily, that isn't that much triple espresso. Yeah, 11. I've thought about color a lot before. Yuck, that's a lot of money. Marlon. They, them, just be plural. Yeah, 11, I mean, you have to roll pronoun updates differently in different languages, right? It's kind of hard to do it any other way. Maybe I'm not understanding what you mean exactly, but... Oh, that's awesome to hear, Onion. B Waffles, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. The cakes. We're getting the cakes back tomorrow, so it's not a big deal. I kind of don't want to go back in, though. I should really split my cakes in the future. Not only for non-binary people, but also because of pluralization, where there are multiple genders, as said with the masculine genders. Oh, okay, I could see why that would certainly ruffle some thoughts there. Like, mess with your head. That's interesting. Yeah. The cakes are worth it, though. Hey there. I mean, it was relatively easy to update Sims to the English language. Yeah. I think I understood what you meant then. Were people upset about that because they didn't understand the difference? I can see why that would, you know, it'd be upsetting for people to be like, well, why can't I change my pronouns if I'm playing the game in Spanish? But at the same time, it's harder for them to implement it because they don't understand the language as well. Alright, we're going to take some diamonds and we're going to go buy some stuff. 500,000. Money isn't really an object to me anymore either. In game, I should specify. Certainly in real life it is. I think I forgot to get the magic rock candy last week. Oh, that was a sucky way. But imagine if I had less health. I'd be dead right now. Alright. Let's get our money back real quick. I have enough time here. Hey. It's okay, hey there. I'm also going to head off in just a minute here. Just going to finish off the day. So have yourself a wonderful night. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Look at all that. Need our cakes tomorrow. Alright. So like I said, I'm unfortunately pretty tired today. Make sure my cakes are in the mail. Yep. So I think we are going to end stream there. I need to get some sleep tonight, because I am very tired. My mom just asked me a very weird question on text. Sorry, my brain just went blank for a second. I do have a normal shipping bin gender. It's just on the other side of the map. Chunky, welcome back. All right, everybody, we're gonna leave. So you think I'm joking, but I'm not. We're gonna end stream there, unfortunately. Welcome back, Chunky. Missed you horribly. So much so that we're gonna leave now. All right, let's see who's live. Dang. Voices are so hard. Okay, let's see here. Hey, do you guys like Bear and Breakfast? It sounds like it's a really cozy game, but I haven't played it yet. But I kind of want to, eventually. I probably wouldn't play it on stream. Is that something you guys would want to raid into? Actually, I get to decide. We're raiding into that. We're going to raid Berry Patches. Berry Patches is an awesome streamer who just recently... I mean, they were very excited about just getting a job, so I'm very happy for them. We're going to go raid into them, watch some Bear and Breakfast, and chill out. Nice, relaxing stream. Use your shirt, coward. What? Oh, you were talking to me, Onion. I didn't see the reply. It's amazing. All right, let me get the raid going here. All right, this game looks really fun, so I think you guys are all gonna have a good time. Thanks so much for hanging out today. Also, Barry's awesome. I don't know why I haven't said that yet. You guys are gonna love Barry. Barry's real fun. I'm so tired. I don't know if you can tell, but you probably can at this point. Let's go ahead and say our good nights. We've got Gender, good night. Onion, good night. 11, good night. Thank you so much for the support today. This goes for everyone. Shelby, it was really good to see you. Helen, awesome to see you today. Hey there, I know you're probably gone by now, but thanks for hanging out today. Sims, it was great to see you today. Thanks so much for hanging out. Other people that are probably up here, I have to scroll. Sapling, you were here. Good to see you, Sapling. Jew, thank you so much for coming by today. Okay, so send all my love over to Barry. Have a good time, hang out for a bit. And I'll see you guys all in the future. Bye-bye for now.
Am I lost already? Al! Hello! I don't know why my alerts are a little behind. I'm sure it'll pop up soon. But yo! It's a butt meat raid. Hello, Ray.